It's Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. We are back after a long while to get back into the MCU with a packed house. I'm Logan, back here on Mostly Superheroes with Danny Patron zooming in from Texas. We got Scotty Scoop, the Giggler, and back again, Sammy, the Sleeper. Tons of news, tons of Whatchu Watchins, catching you all up in a major announcement right here in the beginning of the episode. Cannot wait to share this news with you. With that, let's get into this week's jam-packed episode of Mostly Superheroes. That's right. Welcome back to another episode of Mostly Superheroes, a monthly pursuit for the world's best stories, or whatever. Whenever we're in here is when we get in here. We're back again. Good to see your guys' faces. Holy crap, it feels awesome being back here in the studio with you, our listeners, subscribing out there on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. We appreciate you. Welcome back. So much going on this week. I can't even believe it. Happy Mother's Day! Wait for it. Need a bigger board. Ready?
Yes. I was getting ready for.
No, we can do whatever. Happy Mother's Day!
My mom rocks.
To all you moms out there that are rocking hard, happy Mother's Day. It's actually Mother's Day in Mexico today. I saw that on the calendar, and then Mother's Day, I mean, if you're listening to this, it probably is happening right now in the U.S. for you. Let's go do a round table, and, you know, a bunch of moms made us, so we might as well talk about us. Giggler!
Yes. My mom's the best.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love Paula.
Oh, Paula. Hey, Paula. Hey, Angie. That's my mom. Got a couple of moms already, shouting them out. Giggler, how have you been?
I've been amazing. It's been a great week.
You've been active?
Yeah.
Been busy?
I played about 50 holes of golf in the last week. That's a good life right there.
Wow, somebody just got real mad listening to this.
Me?
Yeah, 50 rounds.
I am
Jeez.
angry.
50 holes, not rounds.
Oh,
That
okay.
would be like
Did you say rounds?
I thought you said rounds.
50 holes.
Let's-
I don't know.
I see you're walking your St. Louis City hat. Go St. Louis City. What's the record now?
Buddy.
We lost last night.
Yeah, they
easy.
lost
Oh,
last
God, this
night.
guy.
But we're about
Downer, Debbie Downer.
5-1 and 2, 5-2 and 1, something like that. But
Pretty
they're
epic
still-
for-
Did we win our first 5?
Yeah,
in a row?
they're it's a little bit
It's
of a
been
struggle
awesome.
since
Okay.
for the last month or so. But
People have already forgotten about the 5-win streak of the brand new
not-
soccer team.
Right.
yeah, I'm not writing them off yet. They're still pretty good.
Scotty Scoop.
Hey, shout out to my mom, Mona.
Mona.
Still doing it.
Still just being a
Just
mom.
being a mom.
She recently had she was at your wedding recently.
Yes, she was there.
You're making her super proud.
Yep.
How are you, Scotty?
I'm doing pretty well.
I do know, I don't want to rush it, but we got so much. You have another medical story. If you want to tell it. And we got to go 1 minute on this thing. There's so many medical stories.
Okay, so everybody knows that the last time I had the jaw dislocation with the root canal.
Yes.
Terrible, terrible thing. So
Yes.
I finally went back in, got it all healed up. They did the build up, gave me a temporary metal crown. About 2 days, it just fell right off.
Just popped out?
Just popped right off.
Were you eating?
I was eating barbecue pulled pork. Just
the
just
loosest.
meat. Yeah, it's just soft meat.
Yes.
Popped right out.
Yeah.
And
Oh, no.
Delicious.
terrible.
But now you're where now? What's up now?
2 weeks I go in and I get my permanent put in. Permanent
Dude.
crown.
The journey
And
continues.
And then who knows what after that. I'll probably break my leg or something.
How's Shanna? How are the kids?
Everybody's good.
Everybody's good.
Everybody's real good.
All right, next up, we know this guy. We'll go to Sam the Sleeper.
Oh, that
Thank you.
should have been like an alarm bell.
Yeah, you got to work that in next time.
I'll try. No, I don't have it. Sammy, welcome back.
Anxiety's high now. No, Thank you. Thanks for having me. I forgot to give you something. Hi, Mother. She's not going to be listening. Real quick. She asked me when this morning, she goes, "You're going to be on that podcast again with the characters that I don't know?" And I said, "Yeah, you're superhero podcast. You're not going to know." She's like, "Oh." I'm like, "Okay, you're not listening."
Were you talking to my mom?
Yeah.
Logan, what is it that you do?
What is that? What's your project?
You got the characters?
You got the thing where you talk about it. Okay.
I don't know if my mom knows
With
what
the
podcasts
mics.
even are.
No,
I'll be
no.
honest.
Same.
I do have. Totally forgot about this. Pre-show would have been a perfect pre-show item.
No, this is good. Opening of the show is even better.
Yeah.
I know, but it
Hold on,
doesn't
I'm ready.
fit.
What we got?
Technically, it's for Han since I messaged Han.
This is great.
but Han
Oh
can
my
decide.
God.
Oh,
yes.
these are Wolverine claws.
Check those out. I saw these last time. You guys had plastic ones.
Dangerous.
Oh, geez. These are. Oh, geez.
Legs are dead. Like I could.
These are no longer spending
All
time
that-
in
Are
my
you
closet.
sure?
I can't believe I grabbed it like this.
Are you sure that these haven't murdered anyone?
All that stuff we
Those
said
have-
about you in the pre-show, Andy, we're sorry.
Is
Yeah.
that adamantium?
What you got to say now, boy?
Oh, my God. All right. What's the story?
I just had those for a Halloween costume one year, and they just are in the closet. They got to go. I texted
You wanna try
Andy
them
a little bit
I
ago.
do.
Hey,
And
you're
I
a
said-
dad now.
I said, yeah, I can't have him finding those. He'll kill somebody. And I said, "You want these?" And he said, "Sure." So I just figured this would be the time. Otherwise,
Oh my God.
they'll be in the dumpster.
Mine are somewhere on those shelves over there.
I
but
saw
yours
those.
would cut right through them.
Yeah, I've opened some beers with these. Just you can
I
shotgun
feel
like 3 beers
Hugh
at a time.
Jackman.
Is it really
Yeah.
steel? Like
They're
is it-
stainless
yeah,
steel.
This is like
Chinese stainless steel, the best.
Oh, black market?
Yeah,
Like,
there's a little-
Where'd you get these?
little rust over here.
Right. I think
Yeah,
these
they've
have
been sitting in a
used-
closet. That's blood, actually. It's dry blood.
Yeah, these have been used in a murder, but I'll still take them.
All right,
For
guys,
sure.
and we're not done yet. We got a fifth one today. That's right. From Texas, coming back, Danny, patron.
Howdy. Happy Mother's Day to Anne. She might also could be known as Mrs. Sleeper. She's great at falling asleep in movies also. Pulls the classic wakes up, pretends like she hasn't been sleeping, and then asks what's going on. So kind of gives herself away.
What's up now?
Almost.
What's happening?
Wait, but yeah, she'll wake up like, no, I haven't been asleep. But what's happening right now? It's like,
Who's this
What's the
guy?
point?
That's
What's the
the
point?
main character, Mom. Come
Yeah.
on.
yeah.
Danny, how you been? How's life? It's been a couple months.
Yeah, no, I'm great. Just living life in Texas, working, hanging out. You know, nothing too crazy. I got a couple things in the works that, depending on how they pan out, I'll share when they're concrete.
Ooh.
But all like personal stuff. But
Not this podcast blowing up and changing your life.
That would be fantastic.
Hey, I'm trying. We're trying, man. We're gonna announce some stuff today that might put us in the right direction.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
maybe.
right.
Nothing would make me happier than doing this more and all other work less.
Absolutely. Well, shout out to all the moms out there, to all the moms that made it possible for us to do nerdy, dumb shit like this. I hope you're proud. Angie, my mom, got to give a shout out to my mother-in-law, Chris, who is an active listener of the pod. For sure listening and watching right now, is familiar with Scotty Scoop and the Giggler and Danny, and asks about you guys on the regular. And like
Nice.
your
That's-
stories and stuff. She's caught
that's
up
awesome.
with, like, she knows more about your medical history probably than your kids.
I mean, we've been called a heartwarming show before, so
That's
it
right.
It all makes sense.
That's right.
Moms would even love it.
That's right. Thanks to the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day. Next up, moving right along, What You Eating? Shout out to the Gramophone.
Yeah.
Man, it was good again. Sandwiches, beer, best sides in town, in the Grove, St. Louis, Missouri. Whether you live here, whether you're visiting town, see the Gramophone. Let's get a rating on the score. A 4.0 for me, Andy.
4.0 always.
Oh, 4, solid.
Big 4 for me.
Yeah.
Danny,
Felt
you've
double
had it.
4.
Yes, always a 4.
I feel like you guys might have been peer pressured into that 4, but I'll take it. You're welcome to
No.
Gramophone. 5 4-star reviews out of 4.
Perfection.
Out of 4.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Out of 4.
Appreciate
Solid
you guys.
sandwich.
And now we are just going to dive right into it because I want this energy to follow us into the whole show. We have a major announcement. You know, when you start something, you don't really know sometimes even why you're starting it. You like something. We'll see where it goes. Mostly Superheroes was one of those things. I want to talk about movies. I want to hang out with my friends. What was I really trying to do? I was trying to take the experience of watching a movie and like extrapolating it like into this room of the studio. And that's where we are now, 4 years later. And in the beginning of 2022, we set some goals for more events, giving back. Remember the last one? Music.
Music.
Scotty Scoop pushed us over the edge a couple months ago. You made one little comment in our episode 1 or 2, and you said, you know, there's a movie coming up called The Flash with some big stuff coming up. Why don't we run a movie theater?
Got to do it.
Announcing for the first time the Mostly Superheroes Screen and Social.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I like that.
The extended movie experience coming up. That's right. We have rented a movie theater. We have seats here in St. Louis Saturday, June 24th. Mark your calendars. We're seeing The Flash at the Alamo Drafthouse. You might be familiar with the Alamo, a national chain of movie theaters that got started in the 90s with their whole goal is show up for the movie early, be there on time, no concession lines, first class service, affordable seats, and the most beautiful theater you've probably been in many years. If you're anything like me in St. Louis in the last 10 years, this is a new location at the City Foundry in St. Louis, an air-rated, multi-business location where you can walk outside, inside, kind of custom modern food court style. We've been many times, Andy, and in here, tucked in the City Foundry in the beautiful midtown of St. Louis is the Alamo Theater, and we are so excited to bring to you the Mostly Superheroes Screen and Social. Again, the extended movie experience. What can you expect? Saturday, June 24th, we're going to see The Flash at noon, folks, and we're going to hang out before and after the movie. That's right. Before the movie, we're going to have a pre-social brunch, door prizes, and we're working on right now live music. I actually have a meeting with a band tomorrow, and we're going to have some kind of live music there in some regard. If it falls through, we will have a Bose speaker, and it will be so nice too. But I think the band's going to work out. Also, the movie, of course, getting in there about 30 minutes early. The Alamo, they offer great pairings with their movies, a nice 30-minute pre-show ad-free feature. For example, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy at the Alamo, and they had a nice kind of similar to the Disney Plus featurettes, the Marvel Legends, where they do the recap stories. The Alamo put together their own recap from all the Guardians' perspectives to lead you into the movie. The Flash is going to have its own custom show, so you're going to want to be there. And then after the movie, we're doing a post-social hangout. You know, how's the movies always gone for you? You're usually running late, you're missing previews, the movie ends, you exit, and you go home, and you're like, damn, I didn't get to talk about it. It's just kind of over. Not anymore. Movie exits, we have the meaning of a bar. The bar where Sam and I actually just met recently, had a nice little happy hour. We'll do a little social hour there after the movie. Come join us. You can come hang out with us before and after, get featured on the pod, tell us what you thought about The Flash, get hyped for The Flash, and you can expect an actual beer tasting at the after movie social from our friends at Well Spent Brewing Company. That's right. Free beer tasting. Yeah, give it up for free beer tastings. Absolutely. And all sorts of prizes from local St. Louis companies, local St. Louis events, from folks that put on St. Louis events. They're going to be there with us in person. We're so excited. It's going to be a ticketed event. We have not put tickets on sale yet. We're putting together the final pieces of all of how this is going to work. When we do go live with tickets, you'll know about it on our social media, and you'll check it out at mostlysuperheroes.com. Be ready. June 24th is the day. And we're so excited to sell you guys these tickets. You're going to get all of this included, everything I've mentioned, the brunch, the movie, the after movie social, and your one ticket price. It'll be affordable. And your money, where's it going? This is our fundraising event, folks. This is how we're going to raise some money to do exactly what we said. Do some good. Part of the money, of course, is going to go back into the podcast. This is how we raise our funds and keep the lights on and keep enhancing our equipment, making the show better. But we're also going to split the proceeds and the profits with some local St. Louis organizations. Still more coming, but for one, we know for absolutely true is going to be the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis. We're so excited to partner with them and make a donation from any money that comes to the event. So you can buy tickets, and we also have a couple sponsorship spots still open. We're locking those in right now, but it's not too late. If this is something that you want to get into to help us put this on for our local community, this is it. The Mostly Superheroes Screen and Social, June 24th. Watch for details at mostlysuperheroes.com, and we can't wait to see you there. And that's how I do the spot, so whenever I post it on social media, it'll just be on one big thing. I don't have to cut it up many times. Now I want to hear, what do you guys think?
I'm pumped. I'm going to be there. It's going to be like,
you go.
Going to be here in a flash.
Yes. You go.
Oh.
You see that?
Oh.
It will be.
Sammy's
here in a flash. We better.
Sammy's going. We're talking about seats. You guys are going to be represented in some way. Scotty, you and the fam, you guys are going to be there.
Have the family. You're definitely not going to want to go back and change this timeline.
Ooh, very nice. That's
nice,
right.
nice.
Yeah, DC, man, this is it. The reboot, the reset, the controversy with Ezra Miller, James Gunn running DC. It's all happening. Giggler,
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
Hey,
you want to
PC
get
Mike,
nuts?
if you're listening, you want to
Started
get
it
nuts.
all.
PC Mike, if you're listening, I haven't texted you yet, but you're about to get the poster for this thing. You
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
come.
He better be there.
You guys will be there. We got lots of friends coming, lots of fans of the show that we've already talked to. It's going to be folks that you've heard on the show. You'll get to meet and greet with us. We'll be recording and live streaming from the location. So much fun. We're so excited to do this first ever event, the Mostly Superheroes Screen and Social, pairing movies with our episodes. And of course, our episode of the Flash review will be a very different episode
Oh my,
because we're going to have a lot more to talk about, more fans to feature, stuff like that.
that's going to be amazing. You've been talking about this since season 1, so
Yeah,
thank
this
you
is
for bringing this into fruition.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that like it has been in my heart and in my mind of what this would be and how it could be, and the fact that we might actually have live music for the very first one was kind of a pipe dream. And it seems like it actually might be coming together. The folks at the Alamo have been nothing but the best to work with, willing to customize with us the event, make it our own. And this is really meant to create great memories with each other, with community. We all know these movies come out once, twice, 3 times per week at this rate. They make, they cost and they make in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Thousands of people work on these things that we look at, and we just let them kind of slip by. And I think we've all kind of taken this stuff for granted. And this is how we can actually make it more of an event, more of a celebration, and absolutely help folks in need that need it more than any of us. All right, guys, the Screen and Social. Can't wait to see you there. This summer, it's going to be a lot of fun. Take this energy into the rest of the episode. Next up, let's get into some fan mail.
Fan mail.
Fan mail is really fun today. We have a few folks to highlight. First of all, we want you to join us in our Mostly Superheroes Squad. That's our exclusive free private group on Facebook and on Twitter. You can also join the Mostly members and patron group at mostlysuperheroes.com/support and get that exclusive content where, man, that pre-show today was fire. There's some real big conversations, some teasers, some
teasing,
some teasing, like all sorts of behind the scenes stuff that you just don't know about unless you get in there. And first up, congrats to a fan of ours that won one of our recent vinyl giveaways. That's right, the Brothers by the Black Keys. Congrats to Tanya Luis, who posted on her social media, got her record. We mailed it to her. She entered. She won. Way to go, Tanya. Thanks for listening, checking out the pod, and enjoy this vinyl.
Great album.
Great album. So much fun. And speaking of vinyls, we are giving away another one. Radiohead, been huge into Radiohead this last year. Album after album after album. And In Rainbows is definitely one of my favorite albums from Radiohead. We're giving this one away. And we're also doing this differently. Tanya kind of inspired me. I'm always looking to buy from the band first. If you can buy from a band, buy from the band. If you can't go from the band, go for somewhere local. I ended up buying the Brothers album from a local shop that was near her. I think she's in Michigan. And so we'll work with you to buy this thing wherever it makes the most sense. Always putting the band first.
Nice.
Go to mostlysuperheroes.com/contest and enter to win In Rainbows by Radiohead.
Love it.
Could you go back one slide?
Of course.
What was her? Does that say 10-cent pistol?
Yeah, we got to shout her out. She posted this on
that's
Instagram.
a true fan.
Yeah,
That's a true fan.
And she tagged us 10-cent pistol _ on Instagram and TikTok. That's Tanya. Go give her a follow, and you can see the post. She took a nice video of all the vinyl she's gotten recently. She's obviously in the space.
Vinyl head. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Cool.
we made the list.
Nice.
Wow, that's pretty sure that song is on that album. So
What?
10-cent pistol.
Is it on the Black Keys?
on that album that she won. So
Wow, you're a bigger
she
fan
wins.
than
Wow.
She wins.
Andy.
I
Somebody
had to
did
look
some-
it up. I just
somebody
had to
did
look
some
it up to
research.
confirm, but it was
Is this in your notes?
yes.
All right, next up, you might recognize this guy, Zoe.
Oh, Zachary.
Zach, that's right. He wrote into us at mostlysuperheroes.com/contact. I love that because people forget that you can just simply write us a letter anytime you want, an e-letter, if you will. He says, hey, guys. I mean, look at this picture, first of all. You can follow this
I
guy.
love him.
So
Yeah.
he's Z__O_. If I can, my eyes seem okay.
You might have the right number of
Better than
underscores.
mine.
And he said, congrats to the champs. This is a picture from your wedding. your wedding day, right?
It sure was.
You're that or prom. I don't
No,
know.
that was
If that's what you looked like at
definitely-
prom, I bet you were. That would be rough.
No, that's my best man and my wife.
He says, "Hey guys, with the DC Universe announcement and James Hunn's, I don't know if that was a typo or on purpose, but
Might
I'm
just
down.
be how often he types Hun that it's
Yeah.
autocorrected.
Yeah,
That's
James
got.
Hunn.
I still think we should get hashtag James Hunn going. Plan with the gun plan. Roughly explain what are top 3 in order that you and the guys are most excited for. Most importantly, why? So keep that question in your mind. He says, I'd say the average person wouldn't know much, if anything, about these projects. So I'm curious as to what you guys are excited about at this early stage. Keep up the good work. Can't wait to hear you guys discuss. This one's for you, Zach. Absolutely. I got one right now that I'm pretty pumped to see, and that's a Superman Legacy. So I'll get mine out of the way. The next 2, I had to think about it. Andy, DC.
Yeah, I'm looking them up right now. I have to refresh myself.
Yeah.
100% Batman. Like, that's it. Brave and the Bold.
Yep.
I couldn't immediately. Can't wait to see who that's going to be, and what they're going to do to make that different from what the Batman is right now. I'm sure it'll be. Can you just imagine a Guardians like tone Batman? I don't know. That'd be pretty crazy, but I think he could pull it off.
He could do it. He could pull it off. He pulled off
If anyone
Peacemaker.
could, yeah.
Yeah. But
Scotty?
I think Blue Beetle looks really interesting. My probably my most anticipated is going to be Booster Gold.
Oh man, yeah, I'm
I
right there.
have
That'd be my
got
number
to
2.
See
do you want me to read these off real quick so we can?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Shows Waller and Creature Commandos, Booster Gold, Lanterns, Paradise Lost.
Lanterns is my number 3.
So in movies, we have Swamp Thing, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, Brave and the Bold, The Authority, and Superman Legacy. So
Swamp Thing.
All right, Danny P, what about you?
Yeah, Batman's got to be number 1. Then probably Superman, and then number 3 is Lanterns. Because I love space stuff, and Guardians. I know we're going to talk about it, but just kind of reminded me of that. And I think the Lanterns has a lot of potential. I think we've seen some not so great iterations of the Green Lantern Corps so far on the big screen, and so I think that just has a lot of potential to be really cool to see what they do and who they use.
Well said, fair share. Sammy Z.
Danny P took the words right out of my mouth. Lanterns would have to be more my jam. I just love that sci-fi space vibes to the superhero movies, and they got a lot of room to improve upon that character and
that title.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
that would be mine.
I love the Deadpool in credit scene
Yep.
too. I mean, spoiler alert,
Oh,
in
yeah.
credit scene for Deadpool 2. That's plenty of space, and there's been plenty of years since this movie.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds shoots his version of himself that played.
yes.
I forget which one he played, which Green Lantern.
Hal Jordan.
He played Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the only thing that sucks about this is we didn't get his, so he's gonna have to write us back again.
Oh,
Zach,
I'll get it. He was Well,
you'll make
that
sure it
could be
happens,
next fan mail.
and maybe a little voicemail.
You're right. You remember his last one?
No.
He said his last one. He was doing his voice. He was like reading off the voicemail while he was changing clothes in his office or something. And his boss like walked in at the same time. It was something weird like that. He'd be pissed if he found out that I said this.
This is the
on
story
air,
I need.
Yes,
Oh
I
my-
thought it. I think we talked about it on air previously.
I
but
picture him
it-
like putting on a
you-
tie and his pants and like
but-
one shoe, and he's like, and then
It
there
was
he was
just-
watching Deadpool.
in the middle of it. You could tell like something was happening, and he's like,
Never mind.
you could never know by listening to it, but knowing him talking about it, oh man,
You just hear a boss in the background like,
I'll-
we need those TRS reports.
I'm gonna go find.
Are you done with the TPS report?
I'm gonna go find the episode and replay it. We'll have that for next week's fan mail or next month.
All right, Zachy, thanks for reaching out. A good topic. I mean, it's a great time to be a DC fan, and way more titles to be looking out for in the future. And talking about that call log, 754 call log, 754-225-5564. Save it in your phone as Mostly Superheroes. Call it and text it. We want to hear from you. And we have a very special voicemail today from a very close friend of ours, Mr. Aaron S. Huge fan of the show.
Yes.
A local guy, one of our great friends, and apparently saw a movie recently, and this is going to be the time to talk about this movie. So get your ratings ready, get a 1 or 2 sentence about this film, the Super Mario Brothers movie from Aaron S. Here he is now.
Hey guys, this is Aaron Sanders. I am looking forward to the upcoming episode about Super Mario Brothers, and figured I'd call in with a topic for you guys to talk about maybe. I had the pleasure of seeing the movie with Scotty Scoop over the weekend, and he and I started going back and forth as to whether Mario actually qualifies as a superhero. To me, it's pretty clear he does. I mean, his name is Super Mario Brothers, and I mean, just like in the original Avengers movie, when Thanos comes into New York City, Bowser comes into New York City, Mario and his gang, Donkey Kong, they're all there to stop him. Mario literally saves the Mushroom Kingdom, probably the Ice Kingdom, and saves New York City as he's doing it. So, anyways, just thought I'd throw that out there, see if Scotty Scoop's losing his credibility or not. So, love to hear your thoughts.
Aaron S.
Oh man.
I guess I should have said spoiler alert. Super Mario's brother movie. You saw it with Aaron. Is Super Mario a superhero? Scotty, I want your answer, and I want your rating of this movie.
Look, I guess he loosely qualifies as a hero. I don't know that it's a superhero. I guess he does have powers every once in a while. Did anybody else see the movie?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I have not.
Okay.
But I liked
saw
his
it.
argument.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
All right.
Good enough.
Well, we all know
I'll
Mario.
allow
We've been
it.
playing
Allow
this
it.
video game forever. I mean, I'll weigh in. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like he gets his whole purpose is to like save the princess, and then he gets superpowers along the way by like eating flowers and getting the fire and like riding Yoshi and flying. And I mean, I don't know what else
Yeah.
you need. Superpowers.
Off the cuff, I was like, no, he's not. But then he laid it out, and I was
Yeah.
like,
So what would he
yeah.
be
Typical
instead of a
lawyer.
superhero?
Well, my thought was
like
like
a hero.
well, at first I was
plumber.
like, he's got super in his name, right? And I go, but is he a hero? And I was like, he literally is a hero. He does many heroic
It's
things.
very
So I'm like,
heroic.
okay, check that box.
Giggler,
I see it. He's
Danny.
a really good plumber, but
Yeah.
also a superhero.
All right, Danny.
Yeah, he is. He's got a sidekick. He's got a vehicle. You know, he's got powers.
He does mushrooms.
He wears a
Vehicle.
cape sometimes.
He does mushrooms
like-
a lot.
Yoshi.
Andy Hunn's a superhero.
All right, what about who else saw this movie? Just
I
you?
did.
Andy saw it,
I
right?
saw it. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's
I
do
go-
ratings. Andy, you go.
Yeah, good call. I go like a 3.0. This is out of 4. This is a just vomited nostalgia the entire movie. Like, my God, it was like in the most perfect way. Like
Mhm.
exactly what I
Perfect
expected.
puke.
The plot was just very basic. I mean, I guess it wasn't saving the princess, but still, just kind of what you would expect. But overall, just a great movie experience. I'm excited to watch it streaming coming out again. I'll throw it on again for sure.
All right, Danny P.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3.5. I was grinning ear to ear this whole
Wow.
time. I mean, I'm a big
Oh, yeah.
video game guy. I like the Mario stuff. I thought, there was some concerns about the voices and stuff going in, but it's the runtime is perfect. I don't need a 2.5 hour long Super Mario Brothers movie, and at like I think it's like hour and a half, maybe hour 45 at most.
Yeah, it was like a tight 90.
It was tight. And I thought Jack Black as Bowser, I mean his Peaches song is like Trent is hitting the charts,
Yeah.
apparently.
Right.
Like it was just fun, perfect time, and a bunch of nostalgia. Now they'll milk this thing dry for sure because it made a bunch of money. So I don't know if they'll always be this great, but this first endeavor, I think Nintendo is moving in the direction of Disney and how they're positioning their properties, and between theme parks, going to the big screen in the right way. I think we're going to see a lot more Nintendo over the next couple of years.
And I mean, Chris
Good.
Pratt.
Yeah, hey,
Did he
hey,
do
it's
good?
me, Mario.
Dude,
That's good. That's the
everywhere.
ultimate question. Yeah. So Scotty, how'd Chris Pratt do, and what's your rating?
I mean, he was fine. I mean, I really didn't have any problems with the casting, but I had an issue with the movie in that it was just a straight kids movie.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this was like, I mean, sometimes you'll go and you'll see a kids movie like Shrek or something else, and you'll get that like adult, like
Undertones.
the jokes that that they throw in there just for you. And I didn't feel any of that
It
in
was
this
kids.
movie at all. This was just for the kids. And yeah, of course I brought my kids. They loved it. I mean, the movie was good.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was, unnecessarily bloated. But 2.75 for me.
Oh wow.
Like I needed something. I felt it was a little flat.
Yeah, I've learned over the years, like when we bring in that second decimal, we feel something.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Did you see it?
No, but if it's kids and it doesn't have any of those undertones, those little things for the adults, it's not getting into the threes for me.
Right.
It'll make it onto your kid's iPad. One day. That's about it. No, love Super Mario Brothers.
I mean,
Huge
this is
fan,
over,
but it'll
over
never get in the
$1
threes.
billion already.
Yeah, it's like the
Wow.
highest grossing video
It's-
game of all time. It's one of the highest grossing films of the year. By
I think
far.
it's made it into like the top 5 animated movies as far as money. I think it's like 1.25
Really?
billion already or something. Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
massive
Crazy.
audience.
Yeah.
I was
Massive
thinking,
audience.
totally thinking it would flop. Just
I mean-
from a couple blurbs I read about it before.
Let's go with
Voices
the Super
and-
Smash Brothers movie next, please.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
I keep
well, I
seeing-
think like the
Wow.
Italian American crowd, you know, that you might have had 100%, and you ended up with like 50%
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Like where like people are just pissed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like if you cast me as Mulan.
I'd watch it.
I mean, I would make
Of course,
you guys.
the guys in the room are going to watch it.
Yeah, all my friends and family would be there. All right, Super Mario Brothers. Aaron S. calling in, leaving a
Yes.
voicemail. So glad
Dude,
we've been
really sticking it to me.
I've been trying to get him to
Man.
call in for so long. Thanks, man. And we'll see you guys.
I can't wait to drunk call in.
Oh,
I'm shocked it hasn't happened by now.
Yeah,
a late
we
night-
should have done it this
Yeah.
weekend at the golf trip. That would have been hilarious.
listen,
Like, let's-
Super Mario Bros.
You think your podcast is good? All right, guys, let's move right into some news and rumors.
News and rumors.
Gossip.
That's right. It's time. And boy, is there some news in the entertainment industry. The
Oh.
writers' strike is happening again. Writers are on strike. I don't think the last time this happened was like 2007, 2008. Got a report here from the Hollywood Reporter. Writers' strike fallout, talking about the economic impact could be upwards of $2 billion. That's what it was back at around the 100-day mark of the writers' strike when this happened the first time around.
Real
I'm-
bad.
I mean, think about it now. Like, this is unprecedented times of like the amount of scripts and stories that are coming in, and essentially, I guess, I don't know how much you guys have read about this or what you know about how the strike works. Please weigh in if you do. I'm following the Hollywood Reporter here. So the Writers Guilds of America, I think that's an acronym.
Mm-hmm.
They essentially have a price tag of how much they've been paid and how much they want to be paid.
Yeah.
All right. And they're doing this against the AMPTP. I don't know what that stands for, to be honest. But this is like, apparently the organization that dictates these rules. And writers aren't being paid enough. This has happened before. And they are out on the streets, picket signs going strong. And apparently, the dollar, if you're talking about like, where are they in the process? How long could this last? And the potential impact, again, went 100 days the last time. And we're already seeing now how many days in, like a week or two. Titles are dropping off. Things are immediately getting delayed. Obviously, like for fans and for people in the industry, just, frustrating from a standpoint of you just went through the global pandemic and major pauses. This is another thing. But these writers have something to say. I've seen a lot of people on social media vocalizing about this. I saw a lot of artists, a lot of writers, people that, just across the whole industry. So I don't know if you guys know, I've heard of some stuff that comes close to our stuff possibly getting delayed. Marvel was safe for a minute, but I feel like there's already, Scotty, what do you know about?
Blade has been put on hold
God
again.
damn it. Yes, again.
Yep.
It's gonna happen. And I mean, this is gonna be like ongoing. So we'll keep
Yeah.
you posted. I mean, it's gonna be in the
It really
dozens of delays.
It comes down to streaming.
Yeah.
These guys are
Yeah.
getting almost next to nothing when their stuff comes on to streaming, and get ready for the streaming prices to start going up
Yeah.
because
Yep.
they're going to need to pay these guys for their work that is just getting aired in perpetuity forever, and they're getting nothing basically. It's almost like the Black Widow problem.
Yeah.
When they released that direct to streaming, and they were like, "Oh, we
Mhm.
don't have to pay you because we didn't put it out in theaters."
Yep.
And well, they lost that.
Yeah, they did. And I mean, and then Black Widow won.
Yeah.
That was. Show me that movie.
Well, I have a quick question on this. Is it really true that they threatened to release the Succession script or something like that? The finale.
I don't know about
I don't know
that.
if it's true, but I
someone
hear
told me
this.
this, but I'm like, I
The
don't know
writers
how
did?
you verify this.
Well, I mean, I've heard similar stories where, like, you could start holding certain things over people's heads, or like certain releases. You'd be like, oh, America's expecting this essentially, or the world's expecting this. But like,
Yeah.
what are the stakes for real? The real implication here that you don't realize is, upwards of 20,000 people are potentially out of work here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the production value in LA alone is somewhere in the ballpark of like 400,000 like a month or something. That's just like not happening right now. Danny, you were saying something?
Yeah, a few things. So I got a list of shows that are going to be impacted. This is from IGN.com. Things that I think would be relevant to us. So like Cobra Kai's on there. Daredevil Born Again, because apparently that's in production. Stranger Things and Wonder Man.
Oh boy.
You know, all things that they're saying are going to be impacted by this. But, you know, I think for me, I completely empathize with the folks impacted by this, because it's like the industry has evolved so quickly, and COVID accelerated streaming services in such a way that it went from being a place where things go to after they've been elsewhere to now being like the focal point for so many of these companies. And if you don't align that with how you're compensating people, people are going to sit there and be like, well, why am I doing this work if I'm not being properly compensated?
Sure.
I think from an impact standpoint, like I remember like, gosh, I hope this doesn't happen, but I don't want to watch a bunch of reality TV again, because that was the nonsense we got when Lost all of a sudden was stopped, and all these great shows that were going on, you know, in the early 2000s, and it was rough. You know, you can see it in the quality of some of the things when they tried to push through a little bit and break up of seasons. So hopefully they figure this out. Hopefully, you know, sound minds prevail. You know, and these people are able to be, you know, better compensated in alignment with the way the industry has changed. And hopefully, you know, we get content. And the other thing I'll just say is I empathize with these people having the courage to do this, given the fact that we're in a tough economic situation in the United States right now. You know, inflation's really high. You know, I think people are going into a lot of uncertainty, and to enter a strike at this time has to be pretty daunting to folks. So my heart and mind, you know, thoughts are with them, as hopefully they can get through this quickly and come out on the other end being better off, because this is an important industry to me.
I just looked it up on the internet, so you know it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Average Hollywood writer salary is like 70,000, which in Hollywood
rich
is like a
bus ticket.
I'm sure. I mean, that is
Wow.
from what these movies you know, these movies make fortunes
Yep.
in a lot of the cases. I know that's just one number, but if that's the average, that is insanity.
This world is insanity. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, just one, like Danny said, just one industry across many, and you can see signs of inflation and prices, and everything's going up a little bit. The package mentality is getting there, where you got to buy more stuff up front. You know, people want more money up front. I mean, Fandango's doing tiered seat pricing. Like, we're about to see tiered pricing for Netflix, for password locking, stuff like this. I mean, it's happening around us. But we're mostly superheroes, so we'll just keep it moving. We don't know shit about finance. Let's move right into this uplifting news.
Come on now.
Oh, no one wants to talk about it. This has been on the radar. We've heard about it a few weeks ago. This guy's in trial. We're talking about Jonathan Majors is on trial for possible assault against a girlfriend or a female acquaintance of his. Don't know if everybody's familiar with the story. Many articles, I mean, this has been a few weeks, but as you know, correct me if I'm wrong here. As the story goes, he was with his girlfriend. She called the police about an altercation on Friday night, and she called Saturday morning and claimed to have injuries from their altercation to her neck and to her head, and checked herself into a hospital, and then filed charges against Jonathan Majors. And he has been on trial ever since. That's about as far as I could get on the story. You know, they're going to keep this thing buttoned up. Not sure if anybody knows anything else, but I'm telling you, contracts are going away. Projects are falling away. He lost his agent, and now Marvel is, according to Screen Geek, potentially considering recasting him, as obviously, amongst all of his projects, Jonathan Majors, one of the biggest stars on the planet right now, you know, making his come out in, I think the HBO series was one of his first big things. You guys remember that TV show he was on, Jonathan Majors? I forget the series. Lovecraft Country.
Really good.
And he's been in a lot of other things since. His recent stuff has been Creed 3, and then of course Kang the Conqueror. If you've seen Ant-Man, if you've seen Loki, I mean, if you saw the end credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, we're talking about, spoiler alert, thousands of Kangs.
Yeah.
This is crazy that this guy could be recast. What have been thoughts about this situation? Where's everybody sitting with this? Let's start with you, Danny P.
Yeah, I don't like to jump to assumptions on any of this stuff.
Good.
Because I just think, it is what it is. It'll happen how it happens. What is interesting to me in looking away from what has or hasn't happened is his agent has cut ties, but Marvel didn't just right off the bat. Like I feel like with a lot of these other things that have happened in the past, Marvel's like been real quick to just be like, okay, you're out. And I don't know if that has to do with contracts or what. That's just kind of an interesting thing that I'm noticing, that this didn't just immediately cancel it. And there could be a lot of reasons why, but it's a bummer. It's very unfortunate in so many ways, for all the people involved and all the people that are going to be hurt one way or another. And I hope that this is resolved in the best way for those that are most impacted. And like I said, we'll know when we know, and nothing in entertainment should drive any decisions outside of, what's right for the people that are hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Has to be the victims first, and the facts matter, and play this out. And unfortunately, though, this is not going to be that case. Like, this is definitely a person that's in the spotlight. The trashing began from both sides, from he's innocent to he's guilty. Immediately, just like, oh, here's some. I remember it was the day of, and somebody had an article locked and loaded. It was like, Jonathan Majors has been always really shitty on sets.
Yep.
And I was like, it's been 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But however, I'm with Dan. Facts are facts. Like, let's just see what happens. Scotty Scoop, where you been sitting with this?
So I come down on both sides. I want to believe victims, obviously, but then he came out pretty quickly and said, look, there's video evidence that shows that I didn't do this. And then there was like the victim recanted their statement.
Mm-hmm.
And she had said there was certain like a knack in my head. And then it came out that, well, it wasn't even that. It was something about my arm and pushed me off a car. And then you've got she didn't want to press charges, but the district attorney wanted to push the charges. And it's like, I'm really just reserving judgment.
Yeah,
here.
that's good. That's the way. I mean, I'm proud of you guys so far. Nobody's disappointed me yet. Just waiting to see what the giggler says. What do you think, Andy?
I pretty much 100% agree with what Scott says. I mean, this whole article here is a nothing burger. I mean, they're saying they're going to consider recasting. Like, that's exactly what they should do if it's true what he did.
Absolutely.
And they have the technology.
But the other point, we have Ezra Miller that's still employed and about to make $1 billion movie in a month.
Point.
Bill Cosby's about to go on tour.
So,
is that
comedy, stand-up comedy?
No.
Now listen, everything we're talking about, everything we've talked about for the last 10 minutes is hearsay. Just white guys on internet.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just be clear. We don't know anything. But
right. Well, yeah.
let's just say this. What do we hope? We hope he's innocent.
Correct.
And that it works out. But who knows?
I want him to be Kang.
Yeah.
He did a tremendous job already, and that's one of the things I was most excited for in the entire MCU, and he's going to be a huge part of it. Or
but
could be
to this entire phase.
But don't beat up your girlfriend.
But exactly.
4, 5, and 6.
Oh yeah, if it's true, then
if it's true,
then you're a terrible person.
See,
you deserve to be recast and thrust out of the spotlight.
And how many people will not see these movies because there's a different Kang? I mean, maybe a handful, but
they could do it. They could do it.
If the MCU stays on the trajectory,
the
that they're at
Lokis
right now,
and Ant-Man,
you just change the scenery. Yeah, change the scenes.
Change
put
his
someone's
face.
face on it. Yeah, absolutely.
and we'll be fine.
You've been following this at all, Sleeper?
I fell asleep there for a minute. Sorry. No, I did remember when this headline came out, and there just wasn't enough facts.
Yep.
And then it was one of those things. I went, you know what? This sucks to hear, because I really loved him, cast as this character. After watching him in Loki, I was like, love this guy as Kang, and I was instantly, let's put this away, not ignore it.
Right.
Let's figure it out. I'm trusting in the justice system here. Maybe that's good or bad. I don't know. We'll see.
TBD.
Just you and the sheep. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm hoping it comes back, with good news.
I mean, all I see is that end credit scene of Ant-Man where there's literally a stadium full of him.
The Council of Kangs.
And I just picture like the visual effects person just going like,
oh no,
no.
Jeez.
All right, we'll keep you posted on that one. And last in the news and rumors, some trailers that have come out. Let's just roll through them. Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, the sequel to Spider-Man. Oh, actually, Into the Spider-Verse. This is Across the Spider-Verse. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
And when's that coming out? I can't really.
July, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like July
Tickets
2.
just came on sale like last week.
Movie-wise, Marvel, we got The Marvels. I mean, November 11th.
Man, that movie looks so fun.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wanna hate
Carrie
it
got
so
excited on
Yeah.
that trailer in Guardians. She was like, oh,
Dropping in with
boy.
the Beastie Boys.
Yes.
And, man, just looks like a great time.
It looks better than the first Marvel movie.
Oh,
to me.
yeah.
The TV shows, we got some here. Secret Invasion, probably like one of my, top 2 for me on like Marvel titles.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be an
Ready.
epic TV show. So pumped. Ahsoka, Disney Plus, Star Wars Town. Dan,
Yeah.
what do you feel about the trailer?
Trailer looked great, and I'm pumped. And Mandalorian had its highs and lows this season, but overall, I really enjoyed it. And
We'll get there.
I think going into this, there's some cool stuff that they're going to explore.
All right, what did you guys think of the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer?
Looks great. More of the same.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
more and more and more,
Yeah.
though.
Don't change anything to that formula.
And
Because it was
isn't this part one? Aren't they doing
perfect.
basically
Yes.
two
Part one, part
kinda
two.
back to back?
Yeah.
And then lastly, movie-wise, coming out this year, you guys know what month?
Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
I want to say August.
Oh.
July or August.
Oh, Andy, you know what you just said?
What'd I even say? I don't remember now. I was looking this up.
Wait for the music to stop. I didn't mean to pick that one. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
The character of the week. Let's try another one.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Yeah, Blue Beetle.
August
Andy,
18th.
Open up that DC encyclopedia.
Let me move these weapons
out.
first.
Yeah, don't cut my throat with those adamantium claws. Blue Beetle's the character of the week. That's right, we're bringing you, even though we record every 8 weeks, this is the character of the week. We bring you somebody new, somebody you might know about, somebody you might not. For me, Blue Beetle, I have no idea who this is. Andy's pulling it up in our DC encyclopedia from memory. Who knows about Blue Beetle?
I have the first appearance of Blue Beetle in comic book form.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The
Infinity
original
Crisis
Blue
number
Beetle?
3?
Wait, what?
Infinity
The original,
Crisis number
there's
3?
two Blue Beetles, right?
Ted Cord.
Oh.
Okay,
this is
and then we
for-
got a couple on here on the screen. Showcase Blue Beetle. I don't know what that's a DC Comics. And then the new 52 version of
Yeah.
Blue Beetle is here too. Very,
Ted Cord on the left, Jaime Reyes on the right.
very nice. Who is Blue Beetle?
Blue Beetle is, I mean, if anybody watched the trailer,
I did.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
it's
he's-
I would explain it as like a reluctant Iron Man
Yes.
/ Venom.
And like surprise, he seems surprised.
Yes.
Like he's discovering some tech. It's getting on him. Like it's not like he made it. It seems like more of like it's discovered him or something.
Right.
Andy, anything more in the encyclopedia? I mean, there's some great imagery in here. We highly recommend the DC encyclopedia book. So fun, very helpful. Anything?
Yeah, he's a big part of the Young Justice show.
Yes.
I think
that
it
is
was
so good.
the third season.
Oh.
Where they feature him heavily. It's the second
Yeah.
or third season, and it's the Jaime Reyes version, and he's awesome. I think the guy that they got to play him from Cobra Kai is like a great cast. He's going to do serious and comedy well, just from what I've seen in Cobra Kai. So I'm pumped for that one too.
Blue
Nice.
Beetle.
What
Anything
was
else,
the-
Andy?
Yeah, we got powers and abilities.
Yeah.
Sentient Blue Beetle armor provides protection, boosts physical capabilities, and can create blades, energy weapons, wings, or thrusters at will. Onboard systems include sensors, life support, and a universal translator.
Hell.
Sounds pretty decent.
So
Yeah.
what's the vibe of the trailer? Is this
It was fun. It was popping. It was fast.
funny?
It was, yeah, funny. You got some
Young
guys that are
Spider-Man,
younger. Yeah,
you know, kind of Spider-Man like.
Yeah. I mean, the graphics looked great. Him in the suit flying up, bouncing
All I
around.
can think of is the Tick when I see it.
Me too.
That's about all I know about him is that this is a Tick movie, I believe.
And the Tick, that's a TV show, right? Like they,
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a show. Yeah.
All right, Blue Beetle, character of the week. Can't wait for the movie. It's going to be the first movie of the first phase of DC.
Is
Right?
it? No, I think they counted Shazam.
No.
This was
I meant
already
of-
in production
well,
when James Gunn took over.
Yeah, but
so-
you know what I'm saying. The James Gunn slate one. Like, there's the legacy movies. Shazam was the last legacy. Well, The Flash to me is the last legacy movie.
Shazam,
Yeah.
Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman.
Like
2.
he didn't write, he didn't direct.
He didn't
and
have
none, and none of
anything
these
to
were
do
put on
with-
the schedule with him. So Blue
Right.
Beetle wasn't really him either. But,
No, it was
but
not.
you know, at this point, he has said that it's kicking. I think he said it's kicking off. Like the story, you know what I mean? Like the Flash is the reset.
Flash is
and
the
then
reset.
Blue Beetle.
And Blue Beetle is new.
And there's going to be an end credit scene that's like the next thing. I mean, I would assume he's going to play this thing like MCU.
I'm curious, like Aquaman 2 is after even that.
Yep.
So
A lot of question marks.
yeah.
So when you
Hey,
say
there
Flash
was-
is a reset, you mean like it's going to be a reset to the
Everything.
okay?
To the DC cinematic universe.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to reset it, and he's going to do some Flashpoint stuff,
Cool.
and it's going to do
Mhm.
something.
There was one other trailer that came out. I think it was this week or last. I just watched it yesterday. That's how I know. The Penguin Gotham TV show from
What?
Batman. It's on HBOMax right now. You can go and watch it. And the tone and everything just production quality, at least from what I could see in the trailer they released, looks just like you're watching more of the Batman. It looks
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Oh,
Sign
man.
it
Andy,
up.
It's not even like a full trailer. It's kind of like a featurette
Yeah,
thing,
it's
right?
like a sneak peek.
Yeah.
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 Did you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
Man, I'm so ready for this.
Wow.
The Batman might be like my favorite movie ever.
How many episodes do you think the Batman will be in?
None.
I bet we could see Bruce,
One.
but I bet we
Maybe
won't see
two.
a lot of Batman.
Mm.
Maybe like
Yeah.
a couple times.
Maybe Andy Serkis.
Battinson.
Yeah, but regardless, just build that world
Maybe they
out.
get Zoe.
Build that world out. I'm excited to see that. And if they're still doing I think the Arkham show, that seems like it would be really, really awesome, like vibe for that. 100%. I'm ready for anything in the Matt Reeves world.
All right. Thanks, Danny, for that one. Another trailer. Lots of stuff happening, even with the writer's strike. You're still going to get a lot of these things that are slated to come out. And with that, we're going to do the fastest What You Watching we ever could. Get ready to do ratings and your take on these titles. Let's get into it right now.
What you watching?
What You Watching? That's where you tell you what we're watching, what we're doing, what we're reading, what we're seeing. First up, Scotty Scoop and the Giggler saw this one. Let's look at the
Dynamic
Giggler first
duo.
on FreeVee.
All right, jury duty. FreeVee is basically just on Prime, right? That's
It's-
Amazon Prime, or is it?
It's
own
like
thing?
it's its own thing, but I think Prime owns it, and it's just free TV that's ad based.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it, got
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
And you're watching Jury Duty on FreeVee. What is Jury Duty?
Jury duty. Basically, every single person in the show is an actor. It's basically starring James Marsden, but the real star is that beautiful man in the front. What's his name again, Scott? I completely forgot.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay, this main
Well,
guy.
the main guy. He is unaware of this all. This is a court case that is drawn up, and basically he's thrown right into it. He thinks he's really going to be on this jury. James Marsden is on the jury as well. So he just plays like an egotistical version of himself. Maybe it's the real version of himself. I don't know. But he provides honestly so much comic relief in this.
He's the
like
best.
it's so crazy that this guy, like the end, when you get to the end and he
Don't spoil it.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's
You were about. It felt like you were
when
going
you
to
get to
say
the
it.
end and
I was like, haven't seen it.
yeah, and you
They
get to the
start
end and the
murdering
case is
people.
closed. Like just the look on his face is one of the greatest things. Like this show is so something new and fresh. Like I enjoyed it so much.
Okay. All right. I'm in. Scotty.
I mean, if anyone is familiar with Spike TV's The Joe Schmo Show, they did this probably 10, 15 years ago, where they had, just like this game show, a dating show, and everyone was an actor except for the one guy. And thank God they found someone who is not a terrible person.
Yes.
Because this could have gone so wrong so quickly. This guy is he's such a good person, and they put him in all these wacky situations, and somehow, I don't know if it's the editing, but somehow he just comes out just like great.
Yeah, it
Smelling
worked
great.
out.
I don't know, the
At
vetting
end,
process.
Well, basically, they tell him
There's some great producers on this show. Is what it
for
sounds like.
real.
they tell him that he's going to be on like a reality show about
Yeah,
jury
yeah.
duty. So
And
it's
this is
not
like
weird
this
that he's like on a
judge's-
camera all
That's
the
what
time.
I wondered.
And
Yeah,
talking.
The judge's last case, and he's gonna retire, and he was like, this is the first time, and he's like, oh man, I hope they don't make me jury foreperson.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
of
God.
course he becomes the jury foreperson because that's where the comedy is.
Yeah, you got to make him have
You
like,
know,
some stuff to do.
They make him sit next to this old lady who's just constantly falling asleep, and the judge is yelling at him, you need to pay attention to your people and keep them in line.
Oh, okay.
And some real funny moments throughout this. I think 8 episodes.
Yeah.
So
So it's
20
pretty short, like
20
25
minutes,
minutes.
yeah.
Ronald is his name.
Ronald.
And it's on
And-
FreeVee on Prime.
Yep.
Yes. Well, you could download the FreeVee app, or you can watch it directly through Prime if you have Prime.
Yeah, you're gonna pay for it one way or the other, not to have those ads.
I mean, it was fine. It wasn't
Any ads?
Yeah, there's ads. It's
Yeah, I don't
not
think you can
really
get around the
intrusive.
ads.
The episodes are so short.
Yeah,
You
it's like
know.
maybe 1 or 2 ads.
Yeah.
All right, Jury Duty. Go check it out.
3.5.
Oh.
out of
Yeah, I was
4.
gonna say rating.
3. Solid 3.
Oh, damn. All right, I'm watching on Apple TV Plus. Me and Carrie watched Extrapolations. Really great, I think, 9-part series on Apple TV Plus. You got Meryl Streep in an episode or 2. You also have, what's his name from Game of Thrones, Kit Harington. He's in a handful of
Jon
episodes.
Snow.
With
Jon
major,
Snow.
he has like kind of a major role in the show, and the whole premise is, this is kind of like a Dark Mirror-esque show where they're showing you the future, decades kind of at a time, based on how we're all treating the planet. And the extrapolations part is really brilliant, fantastic writing. They pull you into sometimes the big room where the big decisions are made and how it's all going down, and sometimes it's the people like us sitting around talking about how our lives are actually happening because of maybe living in a big city and what's going on, say 10 years from now. And then the next episode will jump to 20 years from now. It'll tell you in the beginning of the episode, this is 2048, this is 2060, this is 2070. And they take you all the way on this journey. And if you're able to sit down, sink into this, and get your mind into what it feels like to live in a society and talk about a society and how things kind of move, even when you know all the problems are around you, but how do you actually manage it in the real time? And the very real problems around global warming are explored in this show. Anybody else seen it? Extrapolations? I'm looking
No.
around, shaking heads. I give it a
Mm-mm.
solid 3.6. I had a great
Wow.
time.
Sounds really interesting.
That
That's high.
extrapolated right up my list now.
I'm
Yeah, there
really
you go.
gonna
It's
have
on my
to get
list. but
Apple
that's high
TV.
now. It's
Apple TV, I mean, they're putting out groundbreaking content, like the stories that you're like, finally, someone's talking about some of these things. Like, man, Severance. I mean, if you've seen Severance,
Yeah.
one of the best shows of all
Yep.
time. All right, moving right along. Sam the Sleeper on
Ooh.
HBO.
Succession. Okay, wasn't prepared to talk about this one. Okay,
I thought you had it on your list.
it was, but I was like, maybe love and death.
So you're mad at it's
It's
later.
all your fault.
It's later.
Oh, okay.
Get it all.
No,
You get more
Succession.
than one. Come on.
I know.
You're already
that's
10
fine.
seconds in, so you
Got to catch up. This is about a family who basically, I don't know any of the actors' names.
that's fine.
But
Everyone knows Succession on HBO.
everybody should know by
Kieran
now if you're not
Culkin. I
if
see
you're
it.
not watching it. Yeah, there's a Culkin in there.
Third season.
Third season, HBO, about a family who's basically running a what would you call that?
Media,
like
media
conglomerate.
A media conglomerate.
Yeah.
Massive name. Runs news or networks, and I won't spoil this season, but big things happen. It's all about who's succeeding the family business, and then everything that happens in between with big business in media. And it's a lot more interesting than I made it sound.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think a lot of folks are like that, though, to where they're like, I'm not into business. I'm like, yeah, but do you know about local news and media?
Yeah.
And
And on the surface, my wife would be like, "I don't want this. Does not sound like something that would interest me. You got to watch it. There's so much more family drama. It's really less about the business sometimes and more about the family drama.
Oh yeah.
So if you love, dirty family drama with a business spin to it, it's pretty entertaining. I would give it 3.1, and then a snore rating for me, probably 2.5 out of 4.
does that mean you fell asleep?
I fall asleep every other episode.
Especially- it's a
for
nighttime
5.
watch.
Yeah, it's nighttime.
Sundays. You watch it
Sundays.
Sundays
Oh
too?
yeah. I'm
Okay.
tired.
then yeah.
I fall asleep for 5 minutes, wake up. I lie to my wife. I'm like, I didn't fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm not having a panic
She's
attack
like,
about
"You just-
tomorrow morning.
you just jerked like. So no, it's a good show.
Are you fully up to date on the new season?
Oh yeah, I'm up to
Oh
date.
man,
Is this the final season?
this one is so good.
I almost
there's gonna
dropped
be
some big ones.
Danny,
there.
is this the final?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
All right, I might
pretty
finally
sure it is.
give it a shot.
Another
Oh my
HBO. All right, Sam, we're going back to back. I didn't mean to do that
Oh
to
my
you, but you might as well
God.
just knock it out.
No, it's fine. Another
Chug that
another
whiskey.
series. Yeah, another series on HBO Max. This I thought was a WandaVision spin-off starring Elizabeth Olsen. It is found out pretty quick. It is not. It is.
This title would have worked for that show too, though.
It could work. It could work. So Elizabeth Olsen, starring also Jesse Plemons. If you guys remember him from I think the first time I remember seeing him was like Breaking Bad.
Yes.
He's kind of like Matt Damon. If Matt Damon got stung by like 1,000 bees.
Oh no!
Yeah. If you want to picture it in your head.
Dead?
Oh my god.
No, like his face. He just looks like
puffy.
I wish they had him on there.
I thought that not that same exact thing, but like
I mean, this one's been catching the eye.
Wow.
What's the premise?
So the premise.
It's a true
Unreal.
story, right?
True story. And it's like 1970s, 1980s suburban housewife kind of falls out of love with her I'd call him boring or just status quo husband, uninterested, just kind of rolling through life. She just kind of gets bored with him. Starts wanting to have an affair with her neighbor and their couple friends, who's played by Jesse Plemons. Has an affair with him, and that really heats up. His wife finds out, and none of this is a spoiler. I don't know the story at all,
That's
and
good.
I'm up to date, but not all the episodes are out. Falls in love with him. The wife finds out. She ends up being murdered with an axe.
These seem like spoilers.
That's in the
It's on the
synopsis, I'm
trailer.
sure.
It's in
No.
the trailer.
It's
Well,
yeah. That's
you
the
guys still
biggest
watching
thing.
trailers?
She ends up murdered by an axe. So far, all fingers are kind of pointing at Elizabeth Olsen's character, Candy.
You did it.
But that's all we know. That's what they tell you.
How many
into the
episodes you
show.
in?
5. I think the 5th one drops this Thursday, maybe, or the 6th.
Are you hooked, or are you kind of like whatever?
It's another one of those I could fall asleep, but I don't know the story.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it. There was a show on Hulu about the exact same thing by Candy was played by Jessica Biel. So I think people are might be bigger fans of that rendition of this.
Especially like Seventh Heaven fans.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Blade
so
3.
it's worth a watch.
Seventh Heaven.
I would give it a 2.8.
Already.
Yeah.
All right. Well, well, tell us at the end too.
What? And a
Yeah.
what? Oh yeah.
If it changes, yeah.
I love mid-season rating though. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Scotty Scoop, big blockbuster. Tell us about Keanu
man.
Reeves in
John Wick 4.
How is he doing? Keep it spoiler. Got to be spoiler free.
The body count is up.
It's up,
folks. Way up.
How long's it been? Another 2 hours since 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, right? Like it moves pretty quick.
I mean, if you love John Wick, go see this movie. It's great. I would say probably one of the best action movies of the 21st century.
Wow.
They pull no punches here, and you sit down in the theater and it just blows your hair back. You wear an extra pair of socks because they're gonna knock them off.
Oh man,
It was crazy. They got international superstar Donnie Yen to join this movie, and he really takes up half the movie, and it is fantastic.
What's your rating?
3.8.
Woo! Anybody else?
This is great.
Haven't seen a single one.
All right, Danny.
I haven't seen it yet.
Same.
I haven't either, but I love
Guys.
I love the first 3. I'm waiting. I'm gonna
these
put on the 4K TV.
They call these gung fu.
Gun
flicks?
Fu, yeah.
Gung fu.
Lots
Haven't
of
seen one.
action.
3.8.
I
out
mean,
of
you're
the Scotty
talking, I
Scoop.
think, 450 million.
It's just doing great.
You know, it's
I just
done
listened,
the best.
You know what I just
out of
listened
all
to
4.
was the Keanu Reeves episode of Smartless, the podcast, and he talked about filming it and got into his whole career. Can't wait to see this movie. All right, highly rated. I knew it was coming. I'm up. HBO. I mean, HBO is slaying it right now on this podcast. We are watching The Leftovers. We just finished it actually. 3
This is
seasons.
an old show, right?
2013, 14,
Okay.
15. If you're familiar at all with the premise of like the Christian rapture, people kind of disappearing and vanishing in a moment and questions, that's where they drop you in season 1. This is one of those, this is like one of those drama, mystery, psychological thrillers where you just like, it's kind of like The Sopranos, where you think you're watching this Italian, mob family, and all of a sudden you're learning about the psyche of what it means to like be a person. And this is like struggling with that, but also thoughts of the afterlife and, the all sorts of different sides of things and a lot of questions. So much fun, highly rated, had a great time. I give this a 3.7 at least. So much fun. Anybody else?
Isn't the same
I haven't
creators
seen
as
it.
Lost?
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's
this
probably
is
why I
it?
watched it.
That makes
think
sense.
so.
Yeah. Oh, there were tons of things in here that I was like, I think Carrie pointed that out actually, and it clicked. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of things in here that I thought that's kind of like Lost. That's kind of like Lost.
Who's
you know,
that actor?
dude, he's
Justin Thoreau.
Thank you, Andy.
That's another good
because-
Smartless episode
That's
if
an
anyone
attractive
hasn't
man
listened.
right
Oh,
there.
I will because he is the show. Okay, like this actor is like on the floor, like oh my god, amazing. All right,
Ooh.
Danny P got a game for Marvel.
Yeah. I thought, since I was doing a video game that aligns so nicely. So Marvel's Midnight Suns. Premise of this, it's a turn-based card game where you have to think of like tactical role-playing game, but you use cards instead of moves, which actually keeps it very dynamic and a little more interesting than if they just all had move sets. The cool thing about this is, so that character in the very middle there is the hunter. That's you. You get to build, whether it's, man, woman, whatever you want. It's create your own character, and then you're in the Marvel universe. It's 50% doing these battles, and then 50% back at the like your base, which is specific to like the Midnight Sun storyline. So as the hunter, you're a reincarnated hero whose mother has returned from the dead. She was this evil entity. She's revived by Hydra, and she is going to summon this super evil god. You collect a really cool group of Marvel superstars to go and fight her. And when you're back at your home base, which is kind of like a church area, you're going around, you're doing relationship stuff with the characters, you're talking with them. They kind of lead you to believe that basically every character falls in love with you, but there is no actual romance element in the game. But it's, really fun comic book renditions of, you see there like Iron Man, Wolverine, Blade, Ghost Rider, but then, you got Spider-Man. I downloaded the version that has all the DLC packs. I bought this thing on sale. So I also got Venom, Morbius, and Deadpool. And then the other reason I highlighted this is the Storm DLC, which is the last one. Just came out this week. And with each of those extra characters, you get like 3 extra missions per. Took me a while to beat it. I did not get the platinum. I know we've talked about this in the past, mainly because you had to beat it twice. You had to go like all light decisions and then all dark decisions. And I'm like, or get 100 points. And I'm like, I'm not replaying this thing, because I think it took me like 50 hours to beat or something. But you got like Magic from the X-Men in there. You have a couple of ones that I'm not as familiar with, like Nico Robin, or Robin. Didn't really know her too well. Who else is in there? Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel. Just a fun way to interact with all these Marvel characters that you like. And anytime I can kind of put myself in there, I always make the build your own characters look like me. So a much more handsome version of me typically. But it's fun. I had a good time. I'd give it a 3.0. Scott, did you play this one?
I didn't. I was kind of waiting to see if anyone I knew played it.
Grab it on sale.
Yeah,
I'd get it on sale.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was like free a couple weeks ago.
Not very
It's
promising.
fun.
Get it
It's
on
not
sale.
great.
Yeah.
I'm still playing Marvel Snap
Yeah, damn.
You still doing it?
every day, man.
Oh, boy.
All right. What'd you rate it,
Yeah.
Dan? You said
3.0. 3.0 out of 4. Yeah, it's
All
a good time.
PS5?
But, yeah,
I think it's on
PS4,
everything.
PS5,
Yeah, it's
Xbox.
on Xbox too.
I
It
think
was-
it's like everything except
PC.
Switch.
I think there's an
Yeah.
iOS game even.
It was
for
like
this.
free
I think
a couple
so.
weeks ago. Like for the weekend, you could play, just download it and play it for free.
Oh, cool.
I played it for a
Yeah.
couple hours, and
It's not
I
going to be
just-
for
It wasn't
everybody.
enough for me
Yeah.
to buy it after
Yeah.
that, but I
Oh,
might
you
go
can only
back.
play it for free. You couldn't download it for free and have it. Okay.
Yeah, it was only play it that weekend for free, basically.
Wow, video
to
games.
get people going. But
It's crazy.
I was like,
I'm still-
is
I'm
it
so out of
going
the
that
loop at
bad
this
where they
point.
have
It's
to
flowing.
have to give it away, basically? But
Very good. I
keep
thank
going.
thank God for you guys keeping us and our listeners up to speed on the games out there, especially the superhero ones. Keep bringing them in. I love hearing about them, and getting to play with some of these characters. This black and gold Iron Man suit has already got me.
Look at those claws.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like
you gotta unlock those. Those are that's when it's team up time. Everybody puts on the same suit.
Well,
and
speaking-
you gotta get there.
Speaking of team up time, 1 minute, get your rating ready. Season 2, Sweet Tooth. Spoiler alert. We're not going to get all the way into it.
Get
I'll
Don't
give my
spoil me. I've only seen one episode.
no spoilers. You've only seen one?
I've been
just assumed you'd
so
seen it.
busy. It dropped last week?
Oh, okay. I guess we
Yeah.
jumped right on it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just rate it then for you. Season 2 is like just as good as season 1.
Oh, great.
I'll give it a high score, 3.5.
Yeah.
Anybody else seen it yet?
No.
All right.
yet.
Sweet Tooth, season 2, Netflix. Roundtable, it's up. Scotty, you're up.
Dungeons and Dragons, man.
How was your night?
It was
How
a
was-
good, it
how
was
was
a
the
good
crew?
time. Yeah. A couple of people from my D&D team went. It was a seriously fun movie.
Your campaign.
The campaign,
Right.
The whole most of the crew,
Okay.
and the kids.
And how was the experience?
It was a great experience. This movie was a lot funnier than I really thought it was going to be. They didn't take themselves too seriously at all. The effects were great. The cast was great. I had a really, really fun time watching this movie.
Did it feel like they were playing characters played by people playing their characters?
It really did. Like, I really expected at the end of the movie for them to kind of zoom out and this just be a bunch of people sitting at a table.
They missed it. That's what they should have done.
They did miss it.
Anybody else seen it?
Yeah,
Nope.
Danny?
it was awesome.
You're up.
I mean, I brought some of my friends who don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but saw the cast. They're like, "Oh, this looks good," and they all said like that was great. There was a couple pacing issues, I think, in the beginning, but I had a blast. Like, I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I thought same as you, Scott. Like the humor just hit for me. I also really enjoyed this and would recommend it to people, even if you don't care about Dungeons and Dragons. It's just a fun, funny fantasy movie.
You can rent it now.
Yeah, it's out.
You can
Yeah.
rent it on Amazon, and I think probably if you give it another week or two, it's probably going to be on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, say like the waiting game, just getting it cheap,
Yeah.
free if you can.
Yep.
Can I get it for $2.99?
No,
Not yet.
Redbox?
Right now, it's like rent it for
Redbox.
$19.99. All right, thanks for sharing it. Well, I know that's been a while coming on that one.
3.5.
What do you
Oh,
give
yeah.
it?
And Danny, he said
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, it
actually
was.
gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
You two.
It's great.
Yeah, twinsies.
You can call after this and talk about it together.
Scott and I don't usually have the same ratings, so that's how you know you should watch it. We're both high on it.
Has everybody seen The Mandalorian season 3?
Yes.
Not
Yep.
yet. Not yet.
Yep.
God
Yep,
damn it,
yep,
Sam.
yep.
I
And
know.
obviously Danny has, we'll keep it spoiler free. We'll just do ratings and overall high level thoughts without specifics. We'll save Danny for last, our Star Wars resident. I'll go first. I think that, a lot of thoughts out there about this show, but for me watching it, it was interesting again to see a Star Wars show divert from the main characters quite often. And it's becoming to me like a trend of like, Star Wars is just saying to me that a Star Wars story is a Star Wars story, and we're trying to cover a lot of bases, and this happens during an interesting time. And I personally enjoyed how it goes and the pacing. And the way that I see it is I wish there were just twice as many episodes, because then it could just be more of that, and I think that some people feel short-handed because it's just not that many episodes and you want the growth to go fast. But we all know these are writers in a room and people on a screen, and you can always only take it too far. And a lot of times with Marvel, I get in this game of getting ahead of myself, and I let myself down because I want things to be further along storytelling wise. This is probably one of those where I heard people say that. I didn't feel that way. I'm fine with it. But at the same time, I didn't have the feelings from like season 2 and probably not season 1. It was more just like, I enjoy the show. It's a middle ground. So I'll give it a solid 3.0. Scotty Scoop.
I have the same feelings where I actually don't mind that kind of backdoor pilot feel when they shift away from the main character. And I just really see it as more world building, and I really enjoy it. I think this season was great. I definitely don't feel like it was as good as season 2, but I do feel like there was some season 2-esque moments in this season that were way high on my feeling register. It's just great. I can't wait for another season. Do more.
Rating.
3.3.
The one you're waiting for. Danny P.
Yeah, this was the Bo-Katan season for sure. She was the main character, really.
Yep.
And this actress is in Battlestar Galactica. Loved her in that, and I think she does a great job as Bo-Katan, who's a character from the Clone Wars show. The Mandalorian story to me has always been really cool, and we get that is when I say the Mandalorian, I mean all the Mandalorians, and like their history is very interesting and how it plays out in Clone Wars. What I know from Expanded Universe, Grogu bringing in some good laughs when he gets his little robot suit. That worked for me. I actually found it really funny.
Watch the spoilers.
Yeah, sorry, but
that's not too giveaway.
No, but I think there was a couple episodes that when they ended, I was like, what really happened? Like,
yeah,
like especially the Jack Black and Lizzo episode where it's like,
watch the spoilers.
We gotta go meet these.
No, Jesus, Dan. Wow. No, that's a spoiler. I'm gonna clear the air right now. That's spoiler.
Sorry.
So yeah, let's keep it going.
Cut it.
Watch your excitement, Dan.
I was not excited with that episode because
he wasn't.
We need to get from point A to point B, but we're going to stop in the middle for 45 minutes or 30 minutes and do a nonsensical task.
A fetch quest.
So
okay.
So they're high and low points. Overall, though, I give this season probably 3.4. I really did enjoy it.
Solid.
Yeah.
And you guys are still up.
All right.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I have.
No.
I have.
Oh, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah.
I skipped. Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
I gotta do everything.
Oh, you haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it. Thank God.
Okay.
Whole Andy
Got it. I was
going
gonna be nice and let the guest go first, but fuck you, Sam. Anyways,
what'd you think?
You get one F word.
I love
the one you weren't waiting for.
Oh God, yeah. Anyways, this season was like very up and down for me. Overall, I think I would go around 3.3 out of 4. But yeah, I did love like a lot of the Bo-Katan, and I mean, honestly, seeing Grogu keep growing up before our eyes is my favorite of the whole show, no matter what.
Foundling.
Exactly.
A little foundling.
He's the highlight of the show for me every single time. But I mean, it's just more Mandalorians is probably the theme of this season, which I really like.
Well, I guess we should say, right? The news is that Dave Filoni is going to do a movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
that's for
I tell you what, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's what I've heard. That's
yeah.
rumor.
Is that going to be like the closing of?
I mean,
Probably.
I don't know. I hope not.
Probably the closing of Mandalorian, but I think there is a character that will probably move on in the universe.
He'll just keep growing.
Yeah,
and gooing.
But I don't know about you guys, but Mandalorians jumping out of a spaceship and landing on a planet gives me the hugest geek boner I've probably ever had.
It's funny
I could
because I
watch
remember
it over and over and over again of them just dropping out of a plane with their arms up and the jetpacks going off and just like lowering onto a planet. And I'm like, oh my God, I could watch this for an hour.
And that's why they put it in the trailer. And then people like me get to that part in the show and I'm like, oh, this is from the trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm distracted. All right, Roundtable Mandalorian. There you go. Season 3. More to come. Cannot wait. And Scotty Scoop, tell us about a concert you saw at the Factory in St. Charles, Missouri.
Tenacious D at the Factory on Monday. Man, it's the first time I've been to the venue. Great venue. Great show. I'll talk about the opener first. It was this guy called, the name of his band was called Steel Beans. And you definitely need to look this guy up. He's singing. He's playing the guitar and he's drumming at the same time. One-man band, all by himself. He's got a drumstick in his hand while he's strumming.
What?
He's playing the guitar and he's moving back and forth. And he's drumming as he's strumming.
And he's good.
He played for 45 minutes. Crazy.
Entertained.
Crazy entertainment.
And how was the
And then
TV?
we got Jack Black, Kyle Gass, Tenacious D. They did all the hits. They played for about an hour and a half. The typical goofy Tenacious D you probably all know and love. Pick of Destiny. They played them all. Is anybody else fans of Tenacious D?
I was
I
got into it and then I fell off of it. And
I mean, it's
the greatest song in the world.
I would go see them.
2001, I think, was when they dropped their album. They had a show on HBO before that. If you've never seen it, look it up. Hilarious.
I mean, pretty crazy seeing like Jack Black on
Jack
stage
Black.
at the Factory.
I was with my best friend Ben, and they came out on stage, and Ben was just like, "I think this is the first time I've ever seen a real celebrity,
Yeah,
like
Jack
in
Black.
person."
Like, hey,
And-
School Rock.
You know, he was maybe 50 feet from us. We were down in the pit, just hanging out.
His beard looks insane.
He's got the beard. He had the Pick of
He's-
Destiny shirt. He was playing the saxaboom. I don't know if you've ever seen him play the saxaboom.
I don't even know what that
Yeah,
is.
it's like a child's toy that plays like
Is that what he's holding in that picture?
yeah. He plays just like certain melodies. It's got like 6 keys on it.
Worth the money. You went with Shanna. Did Shanna go?
No,
Just your buddy- you and your buddy?
Just me and Ben.
All right.
Worth $60, man. Standing on the floor
And good.
Seen an
and,
A-list,
and
A-list
rocking
actor.
out to see an A-lister.
A-lister.
The A-lister from
He
yeah,
would
in
probably get mad if
2002.
you called him an A-lister.
All right.
Great show. 4.0.
Oh man.
Go
cool.
see Tenacious D if they come back through.
They're still doing their tour.
They're still doing
Busy
it,
guy
man.
right now. Jack
Yeah.
Black.
Dude, did he sing Peaches?
He did not sing Peaches.
He's funny on social media.
Makes sense.
Oh, he's
enjoy
got his own YouTube Jablinski games where he plays video games.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's great.
Jack
Great
Black
dude.
just having a great. He's having a great life.
He's living it, man.
All right, guys, that's what you watching. Big first half of the episode. I mean, it'll probably work out half and half. When we come back from the break, because I absolutely need one, we will be back in here and jump into the Marvel Cinematic Universe for like the 33rd movie, 50-plus title, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3. James Gunn does it again to sign off in certain ways and keep the story going in other ways. Stick around to find out, and we'll be right back.
The meat.
Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes, and it is time for the meat. That's right, the chunk, the sizzle. It's why you came, it's why you're here, and it's why we're all here as well in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So pumped to nerd out with Danny P, Sam the Sleeper, Scotty Scoop, and the Giggler. Man, just a bunch of nicknames that have just, I mean, you guys sound like a different set of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah. We're the next team.
You're the next, the Warriors of the Basement. I don't know.
Volume
something.
4.
James Gunn, St. Louis legend, on this podcast, getting talked about all the time with all of his work within DC, obviously, recently. And, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy. The big experiment over the years, plugging this ragtag group of comic book characters that were, essentially in the basement and attics of comic book collectors around the world. Scotty, before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 came out in 2014, I would say, were you you knew about the Guardians? Did you have comic books? What was it in the world before the fame?
This was just one of those books that you would think this will never ever come to a screen anywhere.
Yeah, as you're reading it, you got this tree, you got this raccoon. There's no way.
They're not Captain America or Iron Man or Thor. They're not part of the big team. They're definitely an ensemble. And you were like, this is so out there. You would never see something like this. And then it happened. James Gunn did it.
Well, James Gunn did it. Kevin Feige did it, and brought these characters out inside of the Infinity Saga, the multi-film phase 1s, 2, and 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they got plugged right in that 2014 film. Little backstory before we get into this film. They did a good job of James Gunn just doing his thing. Strong characters, strong stories, great music, and then they Danny knows this. They bring in the MacGuffin and they put the Power Stone. One of the 6 Infinity Stones is the main plot point of the first movie, giving it major ties to the overall universe. So, you're pleasing a lot of fans in that moment. But for me, that universal tie, it was awesome. Just to see man, we've had these little teases of these, Thanos, and oh my God, Thanos is in the first Guardians movie. You talk about just not only making these guys a fun film, kind of a side story, but not really a major element of what was going on in the Avengers stuff. And then you have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The gang comes back. They're together. We got Peter Quill. We got Gamora. We got Groot. We got Drax. And then in the second one, we meet Mantis, and we learn about Peter's dad, Ego, and the planet. Oh, man, what a great character to bring to life and put on screen. A living, breathing planet played by Kurt Russell, being America's dad, doing his thing. And that was, 2017 for Volume 2. A lot happens in between that. Infinity War and Endgame. Oh, my God. Spoiler alert for the MCU, as always. Infinity Stones. Thanos gets them. Mantis, the new character, helps put him to sleep. That's her thing. Sleeper, he knows. And it's working. And man, we're gonna get this thing. Spider-Man and Iron Man are like, we almost got this thing off. Come on! Oh no, you killed Gamora, the Soul Stone. No, I'm gonna ruin the whole thing. Peter Quill is infinitely hated in Infinity War, but he makes a comeback in Endgame when the reverse snap happens. But too late. Gamora is totally dead, but Thanos from the past travels to the future and brings with him a 2014 version of Gamora, so she's back essentially, but it's the old version. We got a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that was really fun this last Christmas that kind of brought you up to speed with the Guardians since even Thor Love and Thunder, a post-Endgame movie where you got to see the Guardians for a brief moment that teamed up with Thor. What did we learn in the holiday special? Oh, we bought Nowhere. Remember the head of the celestial being where we met the Collector and the Power Stone? And that was in your bag the whole time. Like, man, all of it. So much fun. Here we are, 2023. An end of sorts, but a beginning of others, because this is the MCU, but you could feel the swan song in this film. These characters are back. The payoffs are here. James Gunn does it again, written and directed by him and produced by Kevin Feige himself. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it open. Spoiler alert right now for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Hold on. There we go. How about that? Let's do a round table and do theater experience. Where'd you see it? Who'd you see it? How many times you seen it? Giggler, start with you.
I've seen this twice. Opening day, Thursday with Steph. Back row at Ronnie's. Back row crew always.
Yep.
Then I saw it with the sleeper here last night at Alamo Draft House, as well as Zach, who gave us that nice question earlier about James Hunn.
Very nice.
With his girlfriend Kate, or fiance Kate as well. Alamo killed it. I will never go back to Ronnie's again after this. I'm so impressed by Alamo Draft
Write the
House.
statement.
Like
Man, shots
the only
fired.
thing that Ronnie's has on them is they have an arcade, and I don't need that anymore. I'm 35. So
well,
does
I think
Alamo
Alamo they have like one video game. They need to beef up the video game department.
They could.
Do they have
They
the
could.
IMAX there at Alamo?
No, I don't think they have an IMAX.
That might be it too.
All
They
right.
have one big, like it's called like the Big House or whatever. That's like their big theater, but the rest are kind of smaller.
Yeah, still
more
learning the
intimate, but-
landscape, but man, you're right.
just-
Game-changing theater experience. Can't wait to be there in June 24th this year at the Screen and Social. Scotty, how was your experience seeing the movie?
It was good. Packed theater, Sunday afternoon, which was strange, but the theater was still full. Saw it at Marcus in the Valley, Chesterfield Valley, back row, as always. Yeah, it was great.
Sammy, how was your experience with Giggler?
Little back row shenanigans with the Giggler, Zio, and his lovely fiance Kate. So it was great. Spoiler alert: no sleep in here.
No sleep.
All shenanigans.
You made it. Danny P, how about you? Where'd you see it?
I went to Studio Movie Grill on Sunday. Big step in our relationship with the girlfriend. This is the first Marvel movie we saw together. She was excited to see this one. She hadn't seen the Endgame and Infinity Wars, so I kind of had to spoil some things for her.
You're like, I'm gonna catch you up real quick.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, there's just like a couple things you need to know, and but she loved it, had a great time, and we did lunch. It was like Sunday, middle of the day, so we grabbed some food while we were there, and it was good. They've upgraded their seats there in Richardson, Texas. We're out in her neighborhood, and I gotta say, it was a very good movie experience.
Nice. You're gonna have to take some pictures of that theater, send them in to us, because I'm always like,
Yeah.
I'm all about this theater experience nowadays. Obviously, we're trying to make it happen more, like working with folks like Alamo. I mean, we basically got a remote, mostly superheroes office in Texas now, so you need to keep us posted.
Yep. I'm writing the room off as a tax deductible this year. So
That's right. Yeah.
does that work?
Yeah, it does work. Yes, it does. It does. We'll get you the paperwork.
Yeah. That'd be great.
All right, so let's get the big stuff out of the way, you nerds, what you want to know. Of course, what do other people think about it, you vague son of a bitch? Listen, guys, tomato meter is off the charts. 82%. Audience score, 95% from Rotten Tomatoes. Looking pretty good. Can't wait to get our ratings on the on the board as well. Looks like the budget actually for the film, I have that in here. I thought I did, but it looks like I have it hidden. I think it was $250 million. Maybe somebody can spot check me on that one. In terms of global box office, they're doing just fine at $344 million. This was about 7 hours ago. $138 million in North America. I mean, today is only May 11th, 10th actually, 2023. This came out on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, and yeah, I mean, just killing it. You know, they're out there doing the premieres. Marvel fans are showing back up for this third installment of Guardians. And now it's all about the story. We talked about this a lot in the Patreon exclusive. We're going to do the fastest recap ever. We're always pushing this thing to try to be quicker. And I'm going to do it myself. But if I miss something that's huge that you or if I don't know any names, let's do it. Do you want to hear a story?
Yes, please.
I don't know. Still working on the soundbite.
The budget was $250,000, FYI.
The budget was $250,000? Yeah,
$250,000. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not very much at all.
$250 million.
We
sorry.
could almost make
$250
that.
That's nothing.
$250
I thought you were talking about on my soundbite. I was like,
We're
that's
gonna raise that. You're gonna raise that in June.
All right, guys. Well, this movie didn't play around. We gave that spoiler alert. The cold open, once again, even though they did it a little bit differently, villains first. Still, not quite villains totally first, but still a flashback. This is going to set the tone for the movie right away. This is Rocket's origin story. Right? Oh my gosh.
Most of the movie, yeah.
Most of the movie. This is a Rocket story with ties to other Guardian folks. Flashback to him as a young raccoon, and finding out how essentially he got his ability to talk. Like, what's the story about his intelligence? And we meet very quickly. Like I said, villains first. Who's the big villain in this movie? What's his name?
High Evolutionary.
The High Evolutionary, a stretchy-faced MFer that the same actor that was in Peacemaker as one of the agents.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously,
His name's hard to say.
Hard to say, and we're gonna do the recap first, and we'll talk about the rest of the movie after. Moving right into a High Evolutionary. What's his goal? Making things in his vision.
Perfect
In evolution. Perfect to him. We are only a certain length along evolution. I want to push it and make it go further. How does he do this? He brings animals and beings from around the galaxy, and he kind of plays like, you know,
he's playing God.
Playing God, essentially. Putting things together that maybe weren't together, pushing the evolution of one thing. And part of this is the development of Rocket, a small little baby raccoon with many other baby raccoons, born essentially in prison, right?
Captivity, yeah.
In captivity.
Had a whole cage full of tiny raccoons.
When you see the High
cute.
Evolutionary, what do you see? What are you guys thinking? I mean, you had probably more background than the rest of us. I don't know if anybody else was familiar with this character, but here we go. We're seeing him on screen. We're gonna make this baby raccoon. We already know, from the first couple movies. Seeing his back, he's got some bad surgery,
cybernetic parts.
Yep.
It's basically like a cyborg raccoon.
And they kind of cut to the chase right away to where, like, they don't beat around the bush. He's in the surgery chair. He's a young little raccoon. They're messing with his brain. They're putting stuff on him, and this is going to make you be more evolved. And it works essentially.
Yeah.
Flash forward to the Guardians. Where are they? They are on Nowhere. They bought it. They're holding it. They're a team. We got everybody there. The essential crew. Peter. Who's having trouble missing Gamora, the Gamora that he lost. He's drinking a lot. Nebula, Gamora's sister, is part of the system as well. Drax is there. Groot, grown, full scale, looking like a football player, broad shoulder. I think Vin Diesel had some some notes on.
They may have actually put him in a suit.
Yeah.
I think they may have. And
He's
it was
huge.
probably his idea.
Yeah.
We got Sean Gunn, James Guther coming back as Kraglin. He's, kind of the protege and right-hand man of Yondu, Michael Rooker, who we lost in Volume 2. We've already given that spoiler alert. Mantis is back. We also got
Cosmo,
played by the girl from Borat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forget her name, but it's a tough name. But she's in Borat. She was like the right hand of Borat in the movie. If you guys haven't seen the new Borat, hilarious. And then, of course, Zoe Saldana making a comeback as Gamora, a complicated character that died in Infinity War, came back from the past, essentially, before she ever met the Guardians, and she's off doing something else. And they're all just kind of getting by.
They're setting up shop.
They're setting up shop. They've been there. It's home.
We're the Guardians of the Galaxy. We're open for business.
We're open for business. They got like goods. They've got like new suits. They've got a system in place, and nowhere is their home base. Very cool. We're gonna be, it's peaceful times. Rocket's singing. I loved it. The opening song, "Creep." I think Radiohead. I swear I had a vision of it on the drive there. I was like, I think Creep's going to be in this movie, and it was the first one. And it was not only that, but it was a cover, because I was like, if they do just Creep, that'd be okay. They did this really sick cover in the beginning, and Rocket's singing it. He's getting a little older. He's got this slowness to him. Like, oh man,
his vibe.
His vibe is like
Danny Glover. Like, I'm getting too old for this kind of thing.
Oh man, just helping keep things running.
Everybody's busy except for one guy.
Exactly, right. And he's just kind of helping behind the scenes. It's peaceful. He's going to bed, and it's like, oh, okay. Boom, here comes new character, a tease from the Volume 2 movie end credit scene. Remember the Sovereign, the gold guys? Rocket stole some batteries. They help fight him in the beginning. Mr. Blue Sky, all of it. Tease of Adam Warlock. Nice t-shirt.
Yeah, here we go.
I'll give it up. I mean, character debut.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter. He's in all sorts of stuff. We Are the Millers.
Yeah.
He's the eyebrow actor. Everybody knows him.
I mean, he's got
the bad kid from Toy Story.
Yeah. Oh, for real? Or does he just look like him?
He just looks like him.
And here he comes in hot. Adam Warlock, gold face, MFer flying in, takes Rocket, messes him up, takes him through like several walls. Again, Peter's got like a drinking problem. He's like kind of out of it. Nebula is the badass. That's, we already know how upgraded she's been over time. Thanos replacing parts with her. We also know that, I'm going to say something right off the bat here. Seems like there's a lot of tech in this movie from years of the Guardians going. And it seems like there might be some Stark tech in there almost. We know Nebula hung out with Stark, but this thing, Adam Warlock attacks Ego. She has like the most badass, almost like Spider-Man, Iron Man combo suit where she can fly. She has blasters. She doesn't mess around.
The blaster arm now, which I don't remember if she had that before.
No,
maybe.
It's a totally upgraded arm. That is like almost like Predator or something. It has like little like tangles to it. But here's Adam Warlock. This is the revenge story of the Sovereign coming back to get the Guardians finally. They mess up Rocket. This is the mission. Save Rocket. We try to save him, put him down the ground. His chest is bleeding. This is,
yeah, you got to get the med pack.
Oh, get the med pack. I'm looking at Carrie. I'm like, what did I bring her to?
Yeah,
like, this is, I'm an emotional wreck. Like, this is going to be hard. Like, is this it right away?
Are they really doing this? Like, right at the beginning
right out of the
movie?
gate. It sounds like we've talked about 30 minutes of film. We've covered like 4
minutes. Yeah, I know. Like, moving real quick. Like, he's bleeding. They put the med pack on. Doesn't work. Why? He is a custom modified individual, and no surgery or tampering of any kind will be allowed.
Yeah, he's basically got like a DNR thing on his heart, to where you
kill switch.
He's a kill switch. You can't bring him back to life or do anything to alter the way he is.
Yep.
Or he's just gonna die.
They find out that, like, okay, let's look up at his code base. Nebula is basically like, DC Cyborg, essentially. She can plug in and kind of give you a diagnostic, like when you take your car to the automotive shop.
Yeah.
And she'll tell you, Rocket's code is this. He was made by this certain individual, this entity. That's the mission. Let's get there. Let's meet this person and find out what's going on.
We got to get to this company.
And I think they find out pretty quickly. I forget how long it takes them to get the footage of Rocket. There's a lot that happens in between where they leave nowhere, and I forget where they go first. They have a stop before they get to the High Evolutionary, because they got to work with people to
there's a mission to infiltrate this place, and to do that they need some stuff.
Yeah, what was that place?
I can't remember, but they had to meet with someone first.
The biologically growing planet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But in order to get into that planet, they had to meet some Ravagers.
And the Ravagers come back. Yeah. They cut them off before they even get there. This is where they're going to get their answers. Sylvester Stallone comes back. We got the Ravagers crew. The floating head thing that I think in the end credit scene was Miley Cyrus, and this one they've casted somebody else.
Yeah,
it was the same person that voiced I'll think of it. It's someone else prominent in the MCU. but
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. I remember seeing like,
I
that's
saw it
a
on
character.
a breakdown today, but I can't remember who it was.
And this is where we get the colored spacesuits for the Guardians. You guys got to wear these suits to get down into the place.
I didn't get that part. But...
Gamora is in the Ravagers. We learn.
Oh,
Yeah,
immediately! Like,
yeah.
who are we meeting? Who do we have to
She
talk
is,
to? Oh,
yeah,
Gamora.
She's Nebula's contact.
Yes.
Which
to-
they
to
knew
get
all
the
along.
information.
Nebula worked. We got to get into OrgoCorp.
OrgoCorp. I
Wow.
think you're right.
Wow.
Nice. Somebody
And that's their
sleeper.
first stop. Is that you had to get into OrgoCorp. That was the end all be all. They said, let's get into
Yeah, but
OrgoCorp.
they're going to have
Get the kill switch code.
that was deleted,
Yes.
and that's what we need.
'Cause the movie could
That's
have been
where it's gonna
over.
Be.
Right then, get the
Yeah.
kill code from OrgoCorp. Put your suits on, get out.
Yeah,
and this is
Didn't
great.
work
You get what Nathan
Nathan Fillion.
Fillion. He's one of the guards, and they got
Yeah.
the fluffy suits.
He's in every James Gunn movie.
I laughed out loud when they showed we have an elite force of bio whatever soldiers.
Yeah,
and they just had that one like floating in space, and he's
Yeah.
like, I was
like
laughing
a
out
fleshy
loud.
spacesuit.
Nebula's cutting into the flesh of this planet. They make it in. They
Drax gets a little stuck.
I
You
mean,
get
this-
like
yeah,
a Winnie the
yeah.
Pooh kind of situation.
Drax gets stuck. They pull him through. The crew gets separated. Drax gets shot. Like, you think Drax is going down
Oh,
for
yeah.
a minute?
Yeah.
He's with Zoe Galdon. He's with Gamora. And meanwhile, it's funny when Mantis puts their suits into the trash thing and
Yeah.
it sends them into space.
Yeah, they're just floating by in the window while they're talking to
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion.
He was great.
Oh,
for
he
sure.
was so funny. He's
Yeah.
like he's one of the nephew's kids.
Yeah.
Oh, we got one.
Oh yeah,
We
they're
got
making
one.
fun of Drax. Like, yeah, I got one of those.
We got an
guys,
idiot
too.
on our
He's like
team.
an idiot.
He goes, I tell this guy. He's like, and I think like, oh, he can do it, and then I want to kill this guy. They get split up, but they eventually do find the file, right? And like this is where they get like I believe like the footage of what happened, and they like all watch it together. Where it's like we finally get they watch it together. Nebula, Peter, the crew, and Nebula's like
They were horrified.
horrified, and she said, "This is worse than what Thanos did to me."
Yeah.
Peter used his art of seduction.
Yeah, he's flirting with.
Yeah.
And
that was the rat catcher, too.
It was the rat
actress
catcher.
from Suicide
that's
Squad.
Right.
That is a great. I didn't realize
Well,
that until
no.
the second time around.
And
The whole time we got James Gunn's wife watching them,
Exactly.
Yeah.
seeing what's going on. You know, a lot of recurring actors from all the other James Gunn movies.
Hell yeah,
He's
that's
got
how
his
it
people,
is.
for sure.
That's how
Yeah.
you're supposed to do it. That's what you look forward
Yeah.
to in these films, and he knows that. And I mean, there was a part of me that was like, all right, you got your wife in here. I was like, man, if this is my job, my wife would be in everything if she wanted to be, like, honestly. But there was a part where she's, they bust into the room and she's like, hey, stop it right there. And she just gets shot
right
right
there.
in the leg. She
Immediately.
just screams and just like falls
Immediately.
down.
Yeah, Gamora shoots her in the leg.
Great comedic relief. I thought it like totally broke the tension in that moment. That was great.
There was a lot of interaction with Peter and Gamora and Nebula.
Oh,
know,
man, yeah. Him trying to
together.
convince her, like, I lost you.
Right.
What is Gamora's deal? I
don't even know your name.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
I don't know you. Yeah, I never got to know you. I didn't live that life. Didn't go through all the things you went through. And she teams up with the Ravager. She's like a full-on
Yeah,
bad
she's
guy.
like a
She's the
captain of
leader.
a Ravager.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they leave the bio place. They get back to their ship. They're checking on Rocket.
The code,
find
the
out
code they're
the
looking
code
for
Isn't.
isn't there. It's been downloaded by a guy that we've seen with the High Evolutionary in his little brain computer.
Right, it was on the side of
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
The one guy that was there in the flashbacks.
Mhm.
Like I forget.
It's just like an assistant doctor.
But
or
they're like, if we
something.
get our
His
hands on
recorder
that,
Thiel.
Yeah, there you go.
There's the recorders.
The
That one is Thiel.
the recorders. All right,
Yeah.
help me out. What happens next?
Got some flashbacks probably
Yeah, help
Yeah,
us
there's
out.
definitely
Tell us,
some-
let's talk flashbacks.
where it goes back to High Evolutionary, just kind of doing further experiments. I think it's where you kind of see Rocket just kind of grow up a bit. Like he's
Character
in
building.
he's in the cage with his buddies. The
Oh, here we go.
I mean, they didn't have
Lila.
names yet, but
Not yet.
the like a sea otter.
Oh
right,
man,
the-
that scene was so great. They put him
The
back in the
bunny.
cage, and it's like a mysterious figure coming up, and it's this little rocket, and you're like, who is this? What is this? And it's an otter.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, mechanical
It
arms.
reminds you a lot of
Yes.
that Toy Story scene where they're in
Yeah.
with the
Sid's room.
Sid's room. You brought him up earlier. It's like Sid's. They come out of the
Dude.
dark and you think they're your enemies. You're like, this is not. We're not in a good place, and they end up being friendly.
Yeah.
It was
The bu-
literally
The bunny with 8, like these legs.
spider legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was derived from that. It
and-
had to be.
And the first words out of Rocket's mouth, hurt.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. That killed me.
So much of this movie is just
It slayed,
heart wrenching.
it slayed me every single time. Every single flashback, I was just like,
But
my dog has like the same exact like face as a baby Rocket, and I was just like, this is
The
killing
beaver
me.
made me think of my dog.
yeah. See, man,
You got a beaver?
I love beavers. I love
Who
beavers.
doesn't? Who
Damn.
doesn't?
All right, so he has some friends immediately.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, and then
It's a group of 4.
a group of 4, you know, they're in their cages. There's different parts of the flashback, right? And we get like the bad moments of coming back and like, oh man, what happened to you? And then some good moments of playing tag and goofing off and having dreams about seeing the sky and getting out and
Being part of this new civilization.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
what's the High Evolutionary's plan to take us to the promised land, essentially, the perfect world? And they all want to fly off, you know, one day per Rocket, and this is where they get to name themselves, and this is where we get Rocket,
Lila,
Teefs,
Teefs,
Lila, and Floor.
Floor, yeah.
That one got me.
Teefs.
Teefs.
Dude, the animals were on point in this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh man, and
So-
I was looking over to Carrie the whole time, going, "This isn't going to end well."
No,
I
absolutely
know.
not.
Danny, what are you thinking at this point?
You know who voices Lila?
Tell me.
Linda Cardellini, also Hawkeye's wife.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Carrie,
Little
that was the
bit
first.
crossover
Carrie
there.
always has to do that. If she doesn't know it, that's like an animated movie. Got to look up the list of who the voices
Yeah.
are.
Cross off something in my notes.
Yeah, I mean, I think in those scenes, as we're all talking about them and smiling and laughing, like we fell for exactly what James Gunn wanted us to fall for. We cared about these fake like digitally animated, frankly semi-hideous little creatures that he made lovable, and in just these short snippets of interaction, you're empathetic towards them, you're feeling for them, and you're like, oh, they're more than the mechanical parts that they have on them. And you know, you can tell Rocket's on a different level and Lila's on a little bit of different level intellectually, and so, you know, you kind of see like a little bit of like a budding romance / friendship there. Like you can tell because of that intellectual level that there's more connection. And I also found it interesting how they were separated, right? So Rocket wasn't with Lila, you know, he was with Floor, and Lila was with Teefs. And so it was like they were together, but there was still something between them, but they had that shared dream. And you're like, you just root for, you want that to play out and all 4 of them to be truly together. And so I thought he did an amazing job making us care about them.
Yeah, it's like you think about people that made similar movies like in the 80s, and everybody's like, what the fuck was that?
This would have been horrifying in the 80s.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
yeah.
You know, and I thought
Garbage pail
I was
kids.
thinking the same thing. You show Rocket and the back and forth. I'm like, this is a fake CGI animal voiced by Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And to me though, I'm like, this is Rocket, you know? I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Doesn't end well. I mean, we could wrap up the flashback part, wrap up the story. I mean,
we get Rocket.
ahead.
High Evolutionary brings Rocket out, shows him like, hey,
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing. Puts that turtle in that evolution machine.
yes.
And you're like, oh crap, he just made a turtle person. And then it goes crazy. And they obliterate it. And he's like, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. And Rocket tells him right away what's wrong with it.
Yeah, you just got a filter
Yeah.
problem.
Like, oh, just messing up the filter right there. And I think that's where it all kind of went wrong.
Just a little genius too,
Yeah.
Rocket. Just the
It's
full
a
on.
little too
Yeah,
smart,
he's
maybe.
not
Yep.
happy with that.
You know, and then you see him, he's starting to steal things that
Yeah,
are
he
just
ta-
laying around,
taking
picks
stuff.
some stuff up off a table and kind of tucks it in and, you know, hides it in his little cage.
Yeah, and we have like more one-on-one time with him and the High Evolutionary, like you know,
He's-
outside, like in and outside of
Yeah.
that moment, like
Mhm.
talking with him, explaining the plan.
Parts of it you can't quite tell. You kind of know what's going to happen, but you can't tell if he's starting to appreciate starting to feel for this little raccoon.
Yeah.
You know he's not, because you know the whole
there are
premise of the
points where
movie.
he's like treating him like a son.
Yeah,
almost.
almost like a Thanos kind of vibe.
Yeah.
With Gamora.
Same thing, yeah.
Take you under my wing, and you kind of know at the end what. Clearly, you know that's not going to end up that way. But
yeah, bad guy doing what he does, using you for all you're worth.
Yeah, but it comes back because it explains why he didn't see this. He did see it was coming. Either way.
And what's he see coming? I mean, he lays it out for him after, essentially the High Evolutionary figures it out because of Rocket's science. Oh, I got this to work. And he brings Rocket up to show him. And it's like, oh, this big moment of you did it.
Yeah.
How did you know you did it? And then Rocket goes, when are we leaving to the new world?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting burned.
Oh, yeah.
You're
not going there. We do want to save your brain.
Yeah, get that ready.
But, you're not really worth anything to me.
And this is it. The big escape. I mean, this was so powerful to me just after Guardians 1, Guardians 2, the prison breakout scene in that first movie and being so good at getting out of prisons. And you're like, this is just one of those James Gunn payoffs where you just oh man, he's bringing it home. Bust out, gets his friends out. I'm going to get you all out of here.
Didn't happen that way.
I mean, I felt it. Those things, all of his friends died.
Oh, yeah.
And then he F's up the High Evolutionary, tackles him, takes off his face, hit his face.
Yeah, you can see why he's got his face stretched on.
Picks up a gun for the first time and just is doing his Rocket Raccoon type thing. Busts out, and obviously we know the rest.
Somewhere in the midst of all this, we find out that the High Evolutionary created the Sovereign.
Yes. Oh, right. Well, we find out because the Sovereign meet up with him, and he's like, "Hey, I hate you guys.
Yeah.
And you're gonna do whatever I say, no matter what." He can his powers essentially are almost like Kang. He's got a suit. He's got force powers almost, and he made the Sovereign plus a whole bunch of other folks. And he's got
Adam Warlock was basically an assassin,
and he was in that. He was in the cocoon.
He was in the cocoon
scene,
and they said, he
was not ready.
He wasn't ready.
He's a preview.
He wasn't done.
He
He's
came out
an
early.
idiot.
Baby.
Yeah, he's a baby.
Yeah.
He's complaining about. He's like, yeah, I got hurt. I got stabbed in the chest.
Yeah. God, that really hurt.
But essentially, they're gonna force them to get Rocket or end their civilization is what it sounded like.
Yeah, and it's all hands on deck at this point. It's I'm trying to catch him. He needs him for what, essentially? The High Evolutionary needs Rocket for something. That was a big piece. Bring him back to me. Go get him. Bring him back.
It was an experiment that escaped. And
that was it.
They wanted to know why he was different.
Right.
He could think.
Yeah, he
create.
He could really create. He couldn't get a species that created. And that was his missing link.
Yeah, and we see that he still can't build the perfect race, and so he's trying to get that person who improved his last failure. That's the way I took it, was Rocket fixed his problem last time, so he needs him back because he still can't get it right, which will kind of bring us in to where they go next.
Which is?
The Guardians, anyway.
Which is?
Counter-Earth.
Counter-Earth. That's Earth something.
Yeah, Counter-Earth. I mean, you familiar
Furry
with Counter-Earth?
Earth.
Is this in the comics? Essentially, the High Evolutionary made a copy of Earth.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he made the whole planet or if he
all
just found
animal
a planet.
people.
Animal people, but doing very familiar human things. This is one of those first times in a Marvel movie where it's you go to another planet and it looks just like Earth.
It looks like, an
every
80s
facet.
version of Earth.
In the Guardians land, and the people are what is that?
Whoa, spaceships.
Yes.
Yeah.
They land the big ship there. This is where the High Evolutionary headquarters is, the big pyramid, the big battle's coming up. Everybody's there. You got the whole team there. They even got Gamora, who's there reluctantly. She wants to get back to the Ravengers, but they're all
there. They were
like,
we don't have time. Rocket's dying.
Yes.
We're on a mission to get to the High Evolutionary so we can get that code out of this dude. We're not dropping you off. You're coming with us, whether you want to or not.
Yep.
So they leave Drax and Mantis and Gamora at the ship with Rocket.
Nebula
they go to
and Peter go to the High Evolution or go to the tower
and only
Peter thing.
Peter and Groot go in. They meet the High Evolutionary. They're immediately this
they
guy.
Keep saying this is a trap.
It's a trap.
This
And,
is a
and
trap.
Peter says,
It's a
no,
it's a
it's
show
a
off.
face-off.
It's a face-off.
Yeah.
He's done this enough times, and man, we can just get right into it. He goes inside with Groot, meets the High Evolutionary. The High Evolutionary is just like, they're not talking to him. It's just like waiting in a waiting room. And then finally the tension breaks, and the High Evolutionary starts going through his plan, and Peter's like, I have listened to enough egotistical guys who, happy Mother's Day, their mom didn't love them, and you're the next one in line, like this is it. And essentially convinces even like all of his people, like kind of like start to go like, does this guy know what he's doing? And we get the great scene of the back and forth between High Evolutionary and Peter, and then Peter and Groot just going in full on like kill mode with Groot and all the guns. A lot of great Groot stuff in this.
Yeah.
Go kaiju!
Kaiju
Full
mode.
kaiju! like landing on that counter Earth,
Scaring
and
all
so
the people
big.
away. They were throwing rocks at him.
Whenever Adam Warlock blew him up on nowhere, and he's just like a little tentacle head.
That screamed like The Thing
yeah,
to me.
yeah. There were like a couple nods there.
Yeah.
I felt like oh, this feels like a couple things.
Yeah, exactly.
like Jumanji almost. A couple,
Yeah.
A lot of great Groot stuff. A lot of the gun scene was great. Like, I mean, I was having like the feels on like those scenes.
Yeah,
like
for
being
sure.
like, man, that's Peter and Groot.
like the entire movie, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yes. Yes.
Multiple times, over and over again. You're like, this is where we're going to lose somebody.
Danger.
This is where we're going to lose somebody.
And man, we're great. These segues, they come right up. Rocket, they get the code. Nebula and Drax and Mantis end up having to team up because Drax convinces Mantis to get on the dirt bike with her and leave the ship. She goes, oh, to go right over there? And he goes, yes. And then he just drives straight to the ship.
Yep.
They jump on the ship as it's taking off from the ground.
With Nebula.
Yes.
Adam Warlock is attacking their ship.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
fighting with
Gamora and that crazy pig guy.
Yeah.
The pig, the war
man.
pig.
Yeah, war pig.
Jeez.
Those were
Those things-
creepy characters.
They looked so good. I was
They
like,
were
wow, they don't look bad
excellent.
at all.
Yeah.
No,
Usually-
him and the Falcon or chicken
Those
robot.
things were effed up. My God.
Oh, it was
That'll
so
keep
good.
me up at night.
Exactly.
They were excellent.
I mean, and then someone ends up chopping off that pig's head.
Yeah.
Adam Warlock just
Warlock.
ripped
Adam
it right
Warlock
off.
ripped it right off.
Pretty
yeah.
easily.
Adam Warlock, he's trying to find his place in all this.
Yeah, he doesn't really know what's going on.
Gamora's got to fly the ship. She flies the ship to Mantis and Peter. They jump back on, and they've got the code. They got it out of the guy's
They're
head.
like, yeah, let's go. Oh, hey, where's Drax and Mantis and Nebula?
They're on the other ship.
Oh, we're on the ship to save you. Wow.
What?
We had a plan. We got off the ship.
And this is right after the big moment of Rocket is going to try to be saved by using this code, and we get that flash back and forth to Afterlife. Once again, MCU going full into like Afterlife, which for me, I mean, you got like wishful thinking. Like, let's go. Like there's a place when you're done, and Rocket gets to see his friend Lila. And it's the ultimate, like we've seen this a million times in how many movies. It's your time. Come on in.
Yep. Oh, hey, good to see you.
You ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Actually, you're not ready.
Actually, you're not ready. You have more to do here.
Yeah.
Send him but I mean, I thought
You get the Peter Quill moment where he's
oh,
where Rocket's just gone.
this is it. Like the
And
trailer.
It's the full gut wrenching. You could feel all the raw emotion
You could.
come out at that point, and you're like emotionally, you think you're ready for it. Like it's happening,
It's happening.
and then it doesn't happen.
Oh, it was hard.
Yeah,
It was hard.
It was real hard.
It was like if your best friend was your dog, but he could talk.
That's that's my wish.
I know.
That's your wish.
That's
if I
what-
could have one wish, it would be that
I don't know that I can handle that.
You're
I
right.
think
Just
I would
don't.
be disappointed. Kind of
Yeah.
like when you hear somebody's voice that's on the
Yeah,
radio,
just
and
like-
then you see their picture. You're like,
Just like
"Oh."
pet me. Pet me.
Yeah.
That's true.
Shut up.
Feed me treats.
Outside. All right, Rocket makes it. But
Did we talk about how
Go ahead.
High Evolutionary blew up all the people on the
Yeah.
on the Earth
no.
as well?
I mean,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is it's happening right now, right? Rocket makes it. They're on the ship. Oh, High Evolutionary is doing the same thing he always does. time to start over.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm
we're
gonna
just
make a billion
start
people
over.
and start over, and like just like I used to
Yeah.
incinerate the animal in my cages. I'm just gonna blow up the whole planet, and the planet starts crumbling beneath everybody. Epic. I mean, this whole
Yeah.
movie looks epic. The space suits, the space scenes, everything gets bigger and bigger. I mean, that biological planet, that was like the biggest undertaking. I feel like whenever I felt like James Gunn was like, I want the biggest planet, like next to like what a Galactus will be like, like we're starting to get like the biggest stuff. But the planet's blowing up, high evolutionaries going down, and what's the ultimate battle here? How's he eventually go? Oh, they rip off his face.
So they go back to the ship
Yep.
Yeah.
to get Nebula and Drax and Mantis, and they find out there's a lot more on this ship than we thought.
Oh, here we go.
There's
Dan's getting mad.
there's kids.
Bunch of kids.
Bunch of blonde
All
kids.
right. So he made these kids.
Yeah,
Did they give a story about how or why?
it's
It's-
just
it-
the
it-
next
It was
step.
humans.
The next
The next
evolution-
evolution was like all these similar looking humans.
But
Right.
all these kids, he says in the movie, these kids can memorize how to blah blah blah. Something very technical.
But they can't.
They can do it, and they can do it in
create.
under a minute. And he's like, but that's just Essentially, that's just memorization.
Right.
They can't. Rocket could look at an issue and know what was wrong with it just by looking at it.
Right. He could build new things.
New
Yes.
things from
Which
knowing
he
other
is-
things.
The only time he's ever created anything that could do that is Rocket.
It's like that perfect like creation.
This anomaly of a creation he's trying to capture again, and he needs his brain.
It's funny
figure
because
it out.
he tried to make this perfect society, which is just like this subjective thing that like for him was like highest evolution and everything's flowing, but like don't make anything too new and get outside your wheelhouse,
Mhm.
But like then he ended up wanting that again. He's like that was his ultimate thing of like I do want. He couldn't understand that something he made, Rocket, could figure out something that he couldn't figure out.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
breaking him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good lesson for anybody who's like up on their own high horse too much. Just realizing
mean-
like I don't know everything.
This is something we're all going to face in our lifetime. Can the creation surpass the creator? We have created AI.
Oh man, it's in the mix too.
I mean,
Probably wrote
yeah.
some of the script. I don't know.
it might,
ChatGPT.
there
Yep.
might be some studio execs trying to figure out how to write scripts right now.
Oh, they're
using
absolutely
ChatGPT.
doing that.
Yeah.
Tell me about a movie called
But,
Superman Legacy, and
Yeah.
AI's like, this is what I would do.
Damn.
All right, so they go back to the ship. Big face off. Actual face off. Actual face off.
Yeah.
The reveal.
Nice.
Big reveal. I mean, it looked rough. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Did a
Cool.
great job. I forget
Yeah.
how he actually goes down, but he does. Goes down.
Well, so
Go ahead.
earlier
We're
in the
missing big stuff.
movie, Rocket's working on these boots that he says like manipulate gravity.
Mhm.
It's like really early on, if I remember
Yeah.
It's
correctly.
very
And
opening
that's
scene.
his
He's like
power.
walking
First 5
upside
minutes.
down.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
walking.
yeah. And you're like, oh, you think it's like a throwaway, but then when you realize that's the high evolutionary's power, like he's been prepping for this showdown, knowing that it would one day come.
To
And so when he gets there, and
yeah.
the high evolutionary's like, why are my powers like, not working on you? It's because he figured out how to stop him.
And then when you're right. He's up on the ceiling. He's using the force
Yeah.
field. Rocket uses his gravity boots, pulls him down, blasts him. Peter blasts him. Like Nebula hits him. Drac punches him down. They all get like Groot gets his punch in. Everybody does, and they beat him.
Teamwork.
They take the kids with them.
Yeah,
They got the
have-
ship-to-ship
the ship
connection.
is
Oh,
Kraglin,
nowhere.
Yeah,
Kraglin brings
flies,
nowhere in.
flies
Yeah.
nowhere in.
Like it's mobile now.
yeah,
That was
we got
that was a cool.
Thrusters on it.
That was
We
a cool
got-
moment too, being like, man, you've seen this so many movies ago, and like
Yeah.
here it is.
usually it's just floating there. You get
Yeah.
Oh.
Cosmo,
Good dog.
who's been called a bad dog by Kraglin, trying to get that taken back the whole movie.
The great poker scene with Kraglin and,
Yeah.
and Cosmo and the one guy from the first movie that sold the orb.
Yeah.
Or
Or wouldn't
Yeah.
buy it.
That
Yeah,
duck.
yeah, Howard,
Howard
the
the
Duck
Duck.
is
there.
back.
Yeah, that was a good one. Mantis trained the, or I guess, I don't know, the obelisks, those big old teethy things.
Oh, the
yeah,
Obelisk
from
We got
like the
That
beginning of the
was-
from the
second
beginning.
movie.
That was weird.
The big teeth, rainbow vomiting tentacle monsters.
Battery eaters.
Hell yeah, battery eaters. They eat battery. Mantis made some new friends. Dan, you were saying something?
Yeah, Craiglin was trying to learn how to use the flute, Yondu's flute, the whole time.
Oh,
And
man.
in that
Arrow,
big
yeah.
battle, when it comes down to it, he figures out how to do it to kind of save the people on Nowhere.
That was great.
When they're kind of losing, he turns the tide of battle.
Yeah, all the monstrosities are going after Nowhere.
Yep.
Good space battle.
Great
Lots
space.
of stuff in space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
always
was
like
that
space
massive
battles.
space battle.
Yeah.
There was the scene in the hallway where the Guardians were
Oh.
all like taking those guys apart.
That was it. That was their
Yeah.
big team
No sleep
scene.
in Brooklyn.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
That I'll never look at that song again.
Yeah.
Same way.
Mhm.
And like that's the best hallway scene since Daredevil of anything ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and to
I was
get
thinking the
'em-
same thing.
to get them all in there, and the Groot stuff was just awesome. Like, really push the Groot stuff. I like that. And you know, it's time to be like, okay, we got all these kids, we got all these people on this planet, we got Nowhere. Let's connect them in space. And Cosmo, the telepath dog, helps connect them all. And Peter and the gang are flowing all these kids onto the
Get
ship.
them all on there.
Yep, get
All
them all
the
on
higher life forms.
there. The higher life forms,
That
right?
was the initial goal.
And then, right as they're about to, they got the last kid, Rocket looks back at the cages and says, absolutely not.
Nope.
We're bringing everybody.
Everybody.
And they brought all the
everybody.
animals.
Yep.
And they're like, I
And
thought we were
he
always...
sees,
Go ahead.
he opens the cage of the raccoons and sees,
Oh.
or his old cage, and sees that he is indeed a raccoon.
And then he himself adopts the name
Yeah.
Rocket
Rocket
Raccoon
Raccoon.
for the first time.
Yeah.
That's
You
pretty
see
good.
the whole zoo like flooding out into Nowhere, basically.
Yeah, just so many animals. And like some of the animals are like attacking people. I love that. I was like, yeah, you got to be real.
That
like,
monkey attacks her face.
yeah, just jumps on. It's like, and then we get the, oh shit, Peter Quill's about to die.
Oh,
Let's go back one
He
thing.
has to-
one
Okay.
thing because it's
Go ahead.
we gotta talk about Adam Warlock's mom
Oh,
perished on Counter Earth.
oh yeah.
So that is where he kind of more or
Flips.
less changed sides.
Yeah.
Because he's like
he's directionless.
I think who was it that helped him at one point? Was it Groot? I think that saved his
Groot
life. And he's
saves
like,
his
"Why
life.
did you save me?" And he just kind of like realizes, "All
Second
right,
chance.
I'm gonna."
He says
At
everybody.
that point, he's like, "I'm a guardian now." So basically, is what happens. But
He says everybody gets second chances.
Yeah.
Gamora's just like, you guys are just making up what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am Groot.
Like, I am Groot. I am
yeah,
Groot.
Yeah, but I
But-
just wanted to point that out before, because since he's about to pop back in a sec.
He is.
Peter drops his Zune on the ship and goes back for it.
Same as, to
I
call back.
always forget
Yeah.
it's a Zoom.
Call back, Like, oh, I've always gone back and got it before. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. He makes the run. He's doing it. Jumps into space. You think he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't.
Right.
Hits something. Stops halfway. And, they really pushed the in space stuff this time. A little bit more of the Guardians Volume 2 stuff where, there's the mutiny and they're putting all those guys out in space. They kind of pushed it to be like,
yeah.
it's not good to be left in space.
Yeah. And then that's how we
Yeah.
lost Yandu.
Yes, exactly.
Died in space.
And Peter's face gets all
Oh,
puffy.
Yeah,
he looks like
and you
Matt
see-
Damon stung by 1,000 bees.
All right.
You see Groot trying to reach out
Well done.
for him, and his branches are just dying in space. He can't get them.
Yeah, they're cracking. You're like, oh
Yeah.
man, that's perfect. Like they really thought about this.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of mad. I was like, fly out there and get him.
Yeah,
I was like, this is
just go get him.
like, it's how long we been in space.
Yeah,
Like, figure
you
it
guys
out.
don't have a space contingency plan,
Right. Oh, he's in space.
Yeah,
No.
you're
Yeah, we're all in space.
Yeah, you're literal astronauts.
Yeah.
Guardians
you don't
of
have
the
backup
Galaxy.
suits anywhere.
And unlikely hero, I guess. Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock.
A little bit of symbolism here.
Yeah.
Carrie called this one out. Like, just like, it's like the Adam.
Man
and-
touching God.
Mhm.
Yeah, man
Yeah.
touching God. Like,
Yeah.
and then, but he, it's like that from, and he pulls him and he just takes him in. And he's all right. Everybody's all right.
Yeah, get him with the med pack
Get him with the, hit him with the med pack. He'll be fine. Get us those
It
med
works on
packs.
bee
for
stings.
real. Where is
Yeah.
the med pack technology?
Yeah. They're like, well, we have the,
Oh my god.
what are those things they have that just like bring your heart back to life? I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I want
the
a med
paddles.
pack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
one that
AED
can break,
things.
put your arm back in place after you break it. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, some of that Nebula stuff where she like her head was like snapped back.
Oh, it's like on the back,
yeah,
her back.
It was just like flopped over.
They
Flopped
pushed
over on her
everything,
back.
and she's like
she's
still
just, like,
fighting, still
snapping back
going.
into place, and you're like, oh, weird.
Guardians win. Everybody's okay. Nowhere's loaded up, and time for a big circle talk about how things are coming to an end.
Nobody died.
Nobody died.
Yeah.
Once again, America can't take it right now.
You might be right.
5 years
I feel
ago,
like there's
5 years
deleted
ago,
scenes somewhere.
Peter Quill's dead or
Yeah.
Rocket's dead.
I thought he was
Like,
dead.
I thought half of the Guardians were going to die in this movie.
No one.
Yeah.
At one point, I thought each person was dead or gone
At some
one
point or another.
So
Yeah.
maybe multiple for each person. Maybe
Groot was dead.
Groot was
Drax was
Groot
dead.
was just a head
Yeah.
for a bit. Spider head.
Groot. Yeah, he was. God, that was cool. All right, so I don't think we're skipping too much here. Well, let's just do the character. It's always good to do the characters at the end. So, you got Peter. That's gonna we'll say Peter for last because he's got some big stuff in the end. Mantis is going off on her own, gonna do her own thing. Take what are those things called again?
Obelisks.
Obelisk, and they're just gonna go
She's
explore.
like, all I did was live for ego.
and then I live for the Guardians.
And
She's
then I
taking a
lived for the
sabbatical.
my brother.
She's just gonna go
Peter.
on. She's gonna eat, pray, love. It's time.
Yeah.
All right,
so
Drax.
she's
Drax,
gone.
and Drax is like, I mean, this is like best friend.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going with you.
I think he
Not.
says like, not.
No,
I think he's gonna stay put. I think.
Nebula she's running nowhere.
She's the leader.
basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, Drax, I need you
Yeah, I'm gonna need all
because
the help I can get.
you're going to be a great dad to all these kids."
By the way,
Yeah.
he can speak their language.
Yeah, he's not stupid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's not stupid.
yeah.
He's just gonna be a dad now.
Ninu na.
Gamora goes back with the Ravengers. That was
Oh,
a nice,
yeah.
nice little warm moment of her going back and all of her friends. Rocket,
Yep. Rocket,
he's gonna have to be
he's the leader.
the captain of the Guardians.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he has the Zune now.
He has the Zune,
He has
but
the Zune.
also because Peter. I mean, they said it best. I called it going into the movie. Like even pre-trailer said Peter Quill goes back to Earth in this movie.
Yeah.
And they kind of did a good job teasing it out in the trailer, showing them approaching Counter Earth, and you're like, oh.
Oh yeah, here we go.
But instead, that was Counter Earth.
Counter.
But he's like, I gotta go see like my family. And McMantis is calling him out. Like,
yeah.
you know, you had somebody in your life that you got.
You just left him.
like, you got taken the same day that his sister died. you know?
Daughter.
Daughter.
Yeah, it was his
I thought it was
grandpa.
his- Oh, it was his
Daughter.
grandpa. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
His daughter, and he's been running ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, and I mean, in more ways than one. I mean, headphones on all the time is great. It's not safe, you know, when you're driving and stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful. But like, he was just hiding essentially, just keeping those good vibes of what he had when he was a kid. It's time to go deal with it. And I don't know if that was an end credit scene or that was actually the movie, right? Like,
That's the end of the
Yeah.
movie where they kind of all just part ways.
And he goes to St. Charles.
oh my God, he does. That's where the factory. That's where you
Yeah.
saw Tenacious D.
That's right. He was probably there.
For you folks listening around around the world, like
oh, that's
this,
Chesterfield.
that's.
Chesterfield, Missouri.
Oh, you're right. But St. Charles, Chesterfield,
Close
it's
enough.
5 miles.
yeah, it's close. That's where I
Um,
work. I work in St. Charles.
I mean, he was reading the newspaper, like the St. Charles Post.
That was cool.
And he rings the doorbell, and same actor
yeah.
did a good job making him look a lot older. And then we get
That's it.
in credit scene.
Well, we have
Mid credit.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
we had one interaction with Groot and Gamora.
Oh, Gamora.
where
oh,
she
right.
finally hears what Groot is saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
What?
love you guys, wasn't it?
I love
Yeah.
you guys. And I
Yeah.
mean, at this
Yeah.
point, it's just Vin Diesel talking.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so
then-
I mean, to me, that's like we learn like when there's a relationship, that's how everybody hears him. That's the way I took it.
yeah. Like,
oh, I didn't take it like that at all.
Oh,
like
what-
we now are family with
Mm.
Groot, so we
Yeah.
understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's how I took it.
Are you talking about when Gamora understood what he was saying when he says "I am Groot," or are you talking about when he just literally says "I love you"? Guys?
I love you guys.
I guess it's debatable.
And Gamora understood what he was saying.
but he says "I."
But everyone
but
understood.
he didn't say I love you guys. Like I
Right.
think we're supposed to understand that he said I am Groot.
You guys are crazy.
and now you
No.
understand
You guys-
what he is saying.
Yeah.
This is literally what happened.
I think this
I'm
is what
with Scott
All
on
right,
this.
all right. Here's what I think happened in the first Guardians movie. Older Groot makes the ultimate sacrifice. He's older, and is able to muster the words, "We are Groot." He has this kid who has like a whole family with the Guardians and lives a life and gets older, and he is able to put together a sentence of "I love you guys" is how I took it, and like those were the words he actually said is what I thought.
Okay, that's how I.
That's what I thought.
That's
too.
what I took.
But I like the other one better, actually.
Is that we as viewers?
Quick, get a tweet
we-
together for James Gunn.
I think he's already answered this question.
He's had to have.
Yeah.
All right, well, I need the answer.
Yeah, I need the
So you
answer to
saw it.
Yeah, I this is what I read. Yeah,
So you know the answer is what you're saying. What's your confidence level?
100%.
100?
100.
I'm so
It's,
sure.
it's confident, more confident or less confident that Mario is a superhero.
All right,
Definitely
watch the-
way more confident.
all right, mid-credit scene. Guardians.
Peter.
Guardians.
We're
We've got new Guardians.
Or no, yeah. This is mid-credit.
It's
scene.
you know,
Guardians.
he's
Yeah,
he's sitting
Guardians.
there. He's
You got
well,
Rocket,
Yeah, he's
Kraglin.
like, all right, let's go.
Adam Warlock,
Yep.
Clearly, a few
Who
years
else?
later,
Who else?
probably.
Giant Groot.
Giant Groot.
You know,
so
who you don't
big.
even- you
Big
don't
time.
even
Time's gone by.
notice.
Yeah.
You don't even notice it first because
right.
it looks like it's a giant rock or boulder.
Yeah.
or
And they're
something.
protecting some town from like a stampede, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here they come. And one of them said I could take this.
Kraglin?
Kraglin was like, I could do this on my own if you guys just want to hang
Were
out.
they going to kill all those animals?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah, it was
sure.
like
They
the
were
opposite
attacking
of the whole
town.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
what I thought.
I was like, are these just animals running?
They're just gonna murder
Yeah.
all these
Like,
animals.
why don't you just go like this?
coming right
That
for
way.
us.
We spent all movie protecting animals. Feeling
Kill
bad
them!
for them.
Don't let
No.
them run over
Or-
here.
Just have Cosmo just make him turn around.
And
Go that
they,
way.
they do a little round table on like their favorite music, and it's all Earth music because
Yeah.
Carrie and I had a whole dialogue about we have some alien songs now, like the 1977s or what are they called that were in the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, put on the full makeup and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what Christmas is,
but Christmas time is here. Yeah, exactly. And it's like you got that, but I was like, I guess we don't really have a ton of like otherworldly music. Like it's all about the Earth music, and like that's what they hear from being friends with the Guardians. That was kind of fun, and more adventures to come is kind of how it felt at the end.
Yeah.
of that
Oh,
scene.
for sure.
Yeah. Britney Spears
Yeah.
and Korn.
Good choices for sure, actually. And then end credit scene, Peter Quill back at Earth, sitting with his grandpa, having the most Missouri
Yeah. Just
Breakfast.
hanging out.
with your grandpa, and he's eating cereal, and he's like, so like, I can mow the neighbor's yard, but like
He's like 45. and
40
he just sits there.
years old, he's just gonna
He
watch
can
me
do it.
mow, and I don't know, it's just weird. And he's like, his grandpa, don't even get me started. I was
That's
chuckling.
how you know James Gunn is really from St. Louis. These
Yeah,
are real
yeah.
conversations that
It's-
are had.
Did you
St.
see the
Charles.
headline on the paper?
What was it?
One of the headlines on
Kevin
the paper.
Bacon?
Kevin Bacon tell all about being
Tells all.
kidnapped by aliens.
Alien abduction.
Yeah. That's it.
Volume 3
The legendary Star-Lord will return.
Will return.
will return.
Yeah.
Big job. Yeah, good job, Dan.
Yeah.
All right, man. Holy cow, that's the story.
Quick and dirty.
Hey, that was not
5
too
minutes,
bad.
right?
Nah, 30. All right, what we missed? What's on the? Let's hear any final thoughts. Let's do some round tables. The pace was good, the story was good, the payoffs are there, the action's there, the space battles look great. Not a lot of problems from me on this movie. I'll save my rating for the end. Let's just do a little round table thoughts. I know you got some notes, Giggler. What are you thinking?
All right, I have to talk about one thing that I saw on a breakdown today, thanks to Emergency Awesome, because I thought this was really cool, especially for us St. Louis fellas. But there was a cut scene from Guardians 2 that took place in St. Ous. I guess it was like Ego's like seed spreading across, basically. But evidently, James Gunn's parents were in this scene. It was obviously cut from the movie, but it appeared in the ended credits as it scrolled through. Do you guys remember there was like pictures from different?
Yeah.
So I guess his parents were in the picture, but it was a deleted scene that I thought was pretty cool that it was from St. Louis.
Yeah, more fun facts. Keep them coming.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, this movie really just shined like with James Gunn storytelling overall. I mean, it's the end of the Guardians chapter, end of his chapter in the MCU now, and now he's got the keys to the DCU with Feige versus Gunn. I'm excited to see where this all goes, but man, this movie is 100% one of my favorite from not only Guardians but just in the MCU so far, for sure.
Scotty.
This is a great movie. Yeah, probably the best one of the trilogy, I think. And it's like, what happens now? Where are all these characters? The legendary Star-Lord will return. We've got a new Guardians team. So many times before the movie, I heard people like Batista and Zoe Saldana say, this is the last time I'm playing this character. And I really expected for there to be like
a final,
like death.
Yeah.
Like final not coming back for sure. But all these characters are alive. You know, I didn't hear Karen Gillan, Nebula, talk about this is the last time I'm going to play this character.
She'll do it forever.
But Drax is with her.
Yeah.
You know, on the planet.
Well, Vin Diesel can, or Dave Bautista, can talk all day about not doing this anymore. The truth is, like, if there's a place and a time and it's beneficial,
like I think these characters
Yeah.
will probably come back in some Avengers iteration for sure, whether it be Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars.
Sleeper.
I loved it. You know, I really thought this movie did two things that I really enjoyed. Perfect balance of action and storytelling without too much of either one. Too much story, I fall asleep. Too much action, I honestly get bored of action.
Overstimulated.
It's just drags on, kind of like Black Adam was. It was just like action for the sake of action, you know. And the story just wasn't there for me. This was a perfect balance of the two. The other thing that I really like about this movie that fits the Guardians of the Galaxy so well is this kind of chaotic misfit portrayal they give the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, they're clumsy, but without being corny. You know, a good example is when they're, you know, you got Peter Quill and whoever else getting off the ship, and then Nebula, Drax, and Mantis getting on the ship.
Yeah, just a
like
total flub.
They literally fell past them as they were getting
they did.
on.
You saw them, they go, well, we got to go find them.
With
And
the-
they fell right
they
behind
fell
them.
right by
the guy with the computer and the Groot with the wings.
Yeah, there's this
Oh, that
like
was great. We didn't
perfect
talk about that.
Yeah.
perfect synergy in the group, yet miscommunication at the same time, just this controlled chaos that in the end works out. Like, they're in tune with each other, but not in tune.
Yeah.
I love that aspect of Guardians of the Galaxy, and they do it in a way that, to me, is just not corny. This movie came off to me similar to like Thor Ragnarok, just the perfect balance of serious, clumsy action, tugging at your heartstrings. It was a really, really balanced movie for me. You know, sweet, salty, bitter, all the traits, all the traits. So I loved it. It was, to your point, the best of the three, I think, and one of the best Marvel movies I've seen in a long time.
Fair share. Danny Patron.
Yeah, I think post Endgame, I think the Marvel movies have tried to have emotional weight, and for the most part, it's hit. Like, I think Black Panther hit. I think this hits well. I think sometimes it doesn't hit. Like, it didn't hit for me in Ant-Man. It didn't hit for me in Thor. But this is a great example of doing it right. I love this movie. I had a great time with it. My one complaint was I felt there was too many like dumb characters, and with Rocket not there with the rest of the Guardians and Gamora not playing that like straight line as much, I felt like it didn't hit. There was too much stupid for me sometimes. Like, Drax was being stupid and Mantis was being stupid, and Peter's always been a little kind of clumsy or stupid in things he does. And without the straight man there to kind of like level it in or level set it or rein it in, there was just a few times where I'm like, okay, this is getting a little overplayed for me. And Nebula fell somewhere in the middle on those lines. But that, I mean, not something that I think sways my opinion drastically. Now, I will say on the kids, my like imagination, this is Dan's hypothesis of how these kids entered this movie, was Disney said, we need kids in this movie. And James Gunn goes, is that negotiable?
Right.
I said, no.
I know. Yeah.
And he goes, okay. Do they have to say anything important? No. Do they have to be smart? No. Okay. You just want them there. You're like, yeah. Because the first time we see these kids, Drax is literally like, oh, look at these little idiots. And like, I was laughing because in some way, I'm like, this might be James Gunn kind of like poking fun that he has to have kids in this movie.
Totally.
And they're just kind of like a comedic, the end of a comedic joke. And so like use of kids, good job, James Gunn. I like this use of kids. And because they just don't like, kids don't really fit in this movie in really any of the Guardians movies that he's done so far. And, if they said, hey, there's got to be kids in it, he's like, all right, I'll put them in there. But, we'll see.
Check the box.
The only other thing I did want to bring up that we didn't touch on in that end credit scene of the new Guardians was the kid, the main like girl that we saw is a Guardian of the Galaxy character from the comics. I don't know her. I don't know anything about her. Scott, I don't know if you know where she powered up and kind of started flying. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Who was that? What was that?
Yeah, I don't know the character either.
I don't know her. She is a member of the Guardians though, because when her face lit up, I've seen that in some of the comics I've read. It's just been a long time. But that main girl, the fact that she's there later, like that's an important character. Not like an Iron Man or something like that, but for the Guardians, that's like a recurring Guardian. So I thought that was kind of a neat tie-in, and I read a little bit that like I guess it doesn't align with like that character's origin story, but whatever. I don't have a problem with that. So I thought that was kind of cool, at least that they like brought her to be relevant since they did kind of play that specific child up a bit. So be interesting to see how that plays out. But overall, like I was laughing, I was having a good time. And I think this was an amazing send-off for James Gunn with Marvel. And I think this is an amazing send-off for all these actors who have put in a lot of years of their life. I think the comments about not coming back just means their contracts are at an end and they're going to renegotiate at some point. So they want to say comments like that right now because it's probably in their benefit. And I agree with you guys that I think they'll show back up in an Avengers movie, if not sooner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well said. Fair share. All right, final thoughts here for we'll do just roundtable ratings. I said a little bit when we first started off the roundtable, but I'll just do mine first. Final thoughts and a rating from myself, and we'll go around the table. James Gunn did I think what his skill set is character-based storytelling. The little moments, the nuanced things about life, and there's something about being human that like you are who you are, and when you put yourself with other people, like they are who they are too. And it was really cool to see the Guardians and these characters who've been together for 3 movies on their own and then more movies outside of that. You could really feel that these guys have known each other forever. And he wrote it in, where like Mantis is calling out Nebula for like what she really is, and Nebula is calling out Drax for what he does, and Peter, like, we know your patterns, this is what you do, and then you somehow as a family, work to help each other just be the best version of yourself. And I've learned to just just personally think about my own life and how you interact with friends and family, and even like a partner when you live with someone for the first time, and roommates even, you could feel that connection inside. So, I think the testament goes to the writing, but it also goes to the actors of just bringing that energy, that camaraderie, that ensemble feel, and so many payoffs of just like storytelling that over all the movies came home in this movie, and it was just a win. Like, especially in this phase 5 and 4 where everything's just kind of crazy. Like phase 4 was like a title every other week, and it's just like, it was there's some good stuff in there, and we've talked about it. This was the best thing I've seen, since probably Spider-Man No Way Home, being real, and there's other titles in there that I'd still like probably put up there, but Guardians 3, man, it was bittersweet. Like, it was like you could feel like it won't ever be quite the same. I've always just thought it's so cool that Chris Pratt like connected with James Gunn, and like he made him into this like Flash Gordon like space hero that like really makes me feel like I'm watching like Star Wars, Spaceballs, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like all these things for like intergalactic travel and the comedy that comes with everybody that exists in the universe. Well done. Awesome job. This movie's a 3.9 for me.
Very nice.
Big score.
That's huge.
I mean, look, I got the mask right here.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's everywhere.
I got the jacket
gun,
right here.
The gun.
I got the
jacket.
guns.
You are a guardian.
Wow.
You're our
Did you
guardian.
Close this just for today.
I mean, no, I wore this to work last week for Superhero Day. Giggler, rate it. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I mean, yeah, like I said, the character storytelling, you harped on it too. Like it's just unbelievable, like how much he gets you to care not only about these characters through 3 movies, but just in the middle of this one movie, those like grimy animal characters that all of a sudden I'm like, I'm gonna be wrecked when this inevitably ends. And honestly, this movie was just so good. James Gunn, I mean, just killed it again. I'm going with a 3.75. Matches the exact rating that my wife gave me today when I was walking out the door.
Nice.
So, man, that's going to be tough to beat for a while.
Scoop. Well said, Giggler.
Yeah, this was so good. I think it's, in my opinion, probably the best of the films so far after Endgame for me. This almost didn't happen. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was not too long ago. James Gunn was fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They fired him.
Yep.
And several of these guys, you can tell that they're actually a family because they said, we're not going to make this movie if James Gunn doesn't come back and do it. We're just not going to.
Mm.
And then they rehired him.
Who'd they hire in between? It was
No one.
No, they had somebody.
one.
Did they have some? I didn't think they had
Yeah,
anybody.
it'll come to me.
Joff.
But yes, they rehired him.
Joff. What's his name?
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Nah, I think
Well, maybe
he's-
they didn't hire him.
he's
Maybe
been,
he
He's been
denied.
canceled.
Probably not him.
They hired. They didn't hire somebody. They went to somebody, and he denied it. I
Yeah,
think.
he probably said no. But I mean, the chemistry is there for everyone, and you can tell like they just loved making these movies, and it's a fitting closure to this whole thing. 3.6 for me.
Solid.
They could have done a little more, I think, with Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
He felt a little flat
Flat.
to me, like he didn't even really need to be there.
Yeah. Just
No,
another.
you could have removed him and
It could have been anyone that
outside
showed
of
up
that
to-
first action scene in the first 5 to 10 minutes,
Yeah.
which was cool.
I wanted a little more meaning to his character.
Yeah, especially after that end credit scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just.
Yeah.
But again, once again, you know.
But now now he's in.
He's in, and also, I don't know. He did the payoff. James did the payoff thing. You know, where it's like we're gonna pay off everything you've seen, including that, and like maybe that just fell to the wayside. I think there's like some Peter Quill stuff that kind of fell to the wayside too, because Peter's like the main character of the first movie. He's
Yeah.
not the main character of this movie.
Oh no, absolutely not.
I mean, even Rocket,
Well-
he is, but like everybody, like other people are even.
Lila says that it's been his story the whole time, but I don't know. I can't decide if that's meant to be taken as through the trilogy or just this movie. Like I mean,
Oh, yeah,
or
good
something in
point.
between.
oh, I
Like,
felt
I
like
read
the
into
whole
that.
time.
I don't know.
I think
mean,
it's a combination.
the movie or the
Every-
trilogy opens and closes with Star-Lord scenes.
Yeah, exactly,
But
exactly.
I feel
I
like
don't-
the first movie was Star-Lord, and then after the chemistry, it evolved as a team, and I think the Rocket cream rose to the top.
Yeah. Ugh, Rocket cream.
Tasty.
Sleeper rating. Final thoughts. Final thoughts first, I guess.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this flick. That really you get me you keep me up immediately with action. That first 5 minutes was good action, and it wasn't a story I didn't know. That doesn't work for me in Black Adam because I didn't know anything about that story, and they did. It was like, oh, here's 3 minutes on the backstory that you're not going to understand or care about. This was, I know Guardians of the Galaxy. I got a good back history on it, and that action there in the very beginning gripped me, and I was in for the rest of the movie. And there's some corny scenes here every so often, or a line that kind of falls flat, or the comedic value of it's just like it's not timed that well. Like Nebula said some things that I think were supposed to be kind of funny, and I just didn't find it funny. I'm trying to be critical of it now because I've been so high on it. And then Gamora was a character I didn't really love. I felt like it was a little bit of like a try hard to make her seem like, I don't give a shit about you. Who are you? Some of that felt try hard, but overall, I thought it was a really, like I said earlier, balanced movie. Great action, great story. Loved the origin of learning more about, Rocket. And then I had no idea what to expect. I didn't even know this movie was out until like 3 days before.
That's awesome.
I've just stayed off the grid. I was like, don't want to be disappointed with anything anymore. Let's just show up to the theater and be surprised. And that's what I got. So I loved it. I was going to give it a 3.6, but during this conversation, I've bumped it to a 3.7.
Wow.
Happens.
Hey, that's a testament to the podcast once again.
And a snore rating of only 1 out of 4 because he fell asleep.
Oh,
on
what?
Time 2.
Which part? I mean, that's what
I don't know.
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Dude,
It was
it
the
was the
second
second time I
time.
saw it, and
It was 10 o'clock.
And those
at
chairs
night.
are comfy.
I played
10
golf.
o'clock
I
at
played
night.
golf.
He's gonna cry about playing.
I played golf directly before, and I was
Your
tired.
blood
He
pumping.
just comes into
I
this
was tired
podcast,
among
makes
other
us all
things.
upset.
Yeah.
I just had a rough day. Another 9.
Yeah. Oh, it's 50 holes.
All right, Danny P, rate us out, round us out with yours, and we'll head into coming up.
Yeah, Giggler, when you said 3.75, the score your wife gave you walking out the door, I thought you meant that's what she scored you.
That's how I read it.
Finally, he's gone. 3.75.
I'm like,
Oh
man, I
my
hope that's not a
God.
Door
four.
closes, 4.0.
I thought that was a little like under the breath joke, and I was like, it's pretty
It
good.
could be. It could
Yeah.
be. Maybe. I'd hope I would be higher than that, but
It's still pretty good.
not
You know,
currently.
It's pretty good.
Not
That's
currently.
great.
always
Put
a
that,
four in
put
my
that on a
heart,
10-point
buddy.
scale. That's real good.
Yeah.
That's over a 90, I believe.
3.75 inches?
What's your
Never mind.
What's your API?
Just kidding. Go on, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a great movie, a great close to the trilogy, a great end of the character arc for so many different characters at the same time. We've seen the evolution of how these characters are as, people, characters, whatever you want to call them, as where they started, where they are now. Some longer than others. I'm looking at the poster here, and it's like, wow, you had 5, and now there's 8 on this picture. And I just had fun. I cared. It kept me, the one thing I do like is, to y'all's point, like, I thought somebody might die, which had me more invested. You go into some of these movies and like, there's no stakes because it's the first one, it's whatever, like they're too big, or they're doing more. And with the actors saying I'm not coming back, that also kind of makes me wonder, is somebody gonna die? But outside of that, just creating the situation where I care about these 4 CGI animals, and truly was upset when it went down the way it did. I was hoping there was I had a feeling that's how it was going to play out, but I was kind of hoping somehow Lila got away to where Rocket could have his next adventure to go and find her or something. But it was funny. It was fun. It was action packed. 3.7 for me. And can't wait to see what's next. And so excited for James Gunn to have the DCEU now.
Give it up for Guardians of the Galaxy. Well said, Mr. Patron. With that, let's get into coming up. Wrap it up. Another banger review, feedback, storytelling, roundtables, and all the fun stuff in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Comic books on screens, big and small, and we're having so much fun. Guardians of the Galaxy, I cannot believe the third one is come and gone. And we got some trailers that we talked about. The Marvels is coming up. I guess that'll be the next MCU movie.
Yeah, November.
And then we got shows coming up. What If Season 2 should be happening. A Secret Invasion. Loki
2.
I'm still hearing that Echo is going to happen this year.
I'm also hearing the same thing, but
I hope.
who knows?
Ironheart, maybe. Agatha. I haven't heard anything about Agatha Coven of Chaos other than it's going to be a musical.
Yes, I also heard that.
So
Really?
get ready for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Weird.
And then in the greater universe, all movies, keeping kind of a checklist of our year. And this is only some of the titles we're talking about. But, we got, I don't know, what we got the next big movie. I mean, really, it's going to be our screen and social at the Alamo on June 24th, Saturday, seeing DC's The Flash. I mean, this movie is coming up in June. I think it releases that week, I'm pretty sure. And oh my God, I am so excited for this movie.
Yeah.
I might be most excited I've been for a movie since Endgame, probably.
It's got to be. I mean, you got Flash, you got a couple Batmans, like a Keaton return, like a Supergirl, like the multiverse, Zod
returning,
like Man of Steel callbacks, like this.
And then who knows? Who knows what else we're gonna get?
That's the stuff
That's
we know
just
about.
the stuff we know.
Yes.
I guess we could record on Spider-Verse potentially. That comes out early June before the
good
before
call.
the 21st, like first week of June. So
good call.
Indiana Jones. Did you guys get an Indiana Jones full trailer during your movie?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, we did.
Looks
Yeah,
great.
that looks great.
Dial of Destiny.
I'm kind of into Transformers a little bit. Like I mean, I'll definitely watch that movie.
I don't think I've seen like the last couple.
I don't even care. I feel like it's another reboot. You're just gonna go in and you don't need to know anything.
Same old, same old.
Creed 3.
Creed 3. Yeah, they came out like
I gotta see
2
Creed
months
1 and
ago,
2,
I think.
guess.
Yeah, but maybe they'll rewrite the digital release. I don't know like how it ended, but maybe I don't know.
Jonathan Majors punching
recast.
people sounds like not a movie I'd like to see right now.
When's Blue Beetle again?
July.
I mean,
think.
that's right after the Flash.
And yeah.
What about Mission Impossible? Are you tracking that?
Oh man,
Oh,
Mission
can't
Impossible.
wait.
I mean, another trailer for him doing the big jump and stuff that happened in the movie. That looks pretty good.
Yeah. Aquaman is what, December? I
December, yep. What about Fast and Furious 10? In theaters right now.
It's
Is it?
gotten
I believe it's on the premiere
Have
trail
fun.
right now.
way over the top for me.
I gotta
on Fast
catch
X.
up and see 3 through 9 first, or watch the Mostly
I was gonna
Superheroes
say-
4-hour recap
You
of
should-
the whole
you-
saga.
Yeah, that
you
might-
can either watch 12 hours of Fast and Furious or 3 hours of Most of Superheroes. Take your pick, or do both. I'd also say Loki. I mean, I've been really coming back to Loki a lot. Like as I rewatch MCU stuff, like when I'm poking around Disney Plus, the Marvel page,
Mhm.
Loki is borderline masterpiece.
I rewatched it a month or two ago.
This season 2.
I can't. I'm looking forward to that.
All right, guys, plenty of other stuff happening. Go buy some merch at mostlysuperheroes.com/merch. Go follow us everywhere, ubiquitous online. If you're on Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, Spotify, Patreon, any of it, go check it out. Everything's linked up at mostlysuperheroes.com.
Trovo.
Trovo, we're still there. We still have the account. And June 24th, seeing The Flash. Can't wait for our first screen and social. Watch for more events like that, but can't wait for this one. Guys, thanks so much for doing this again. Another banger episode. Kept you not too late for a Wednesday. Hopefully you had a good time. Sam, the sleeper, thanks for coming back. Did you have a good time?
Excellent. Thank you very much. I'll be back anytime you ask.
Shout out to Team Jakey. Anything else you got going on? You want to plug anything while you're here on the pod?
No, 10-year anniversary this year, so keep us in mind. September 23rd, 2023.
That's a come one, come all ticketed event, prizes, cornhole. It's a
Raffles, auctions galore,
prizes like
food,
you've never seen before.
free food, free beer in your ticket price. So
And we'll all be there.
be there.
And 10 years. And you guys are gonna be at the Screen and Social.
See you June 24th.
That's right. And you and I you've been helping. Honestly, you've been helping out. You've been helping me think about how to make this thing fun and an experience for everybody. And excited to have you guys there, and excited to see you guys.
It's gonna be a
in
good
September.
time. It's gonna be a good summer.
Fun summer.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Danny Patron, thanks for calling in from Texas, man. Did you have a good
Always.
time? We will be back again, of
Always.
course.
Dan, do you have a 10-gallon hat yet?
I can wear I don't know that they're quite 10-gallon, but I have a couple cowboy hats and boots.
What's
so.
the belt situation, the buckle situation like?
I haven't gone that far.
So you need a Mostly
Um,
Superheroes belt buckle, is what you're saying.
I will 100% wear a Mostly
Oversized belt
Superheroes
buckle. That's the
belt
next
buckle.
thing.
It's going to be like
Yes.
a Screen and Social rodeo.
Yes,
With all of our faces
have
on it.
Carrie see if that's in the repertoire of things we can put
Yes.
on there.
Yeah, I'll put that on her plate
I'll-
after this event's
Yeah,
over.
so she's not busy. She's not busy.
she says she's like, slow down, Dan. Scotty Scoop, give us your sign off.
I'm looking forward to not a lot happening in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
I think the next thing I got is Point Fest.
Yeah, Point Fest. We're going Coheed, Incubus.
The
Coheed.
Pretty Reckless.
That's and what venue is the big one in
I don't even know what they call
Verizon.
it. Verizon Wireless.
but it's
Amphitheater.
Hollywood
They say
Amphitheater now.
changes
Hollywood
names
Casino
every-
Amphitheater. It's Riverport
It's
for us old people.
for this old people.
Yeah.
We can't wait for that. Giggler.
Man, as depressing and sad as that movie was, let's start on let's end on a happy note of how excited we are for June 24th. definitely. I'm counting down the days, not only just for all the fun that's about to be had, but that movie is going to be amazing. It's going to be very hard for me to not see it before. It's going to be out for over a week before that event.
I thought about that.
I don't think I can do it.
I don't think you need to. I think you just come see it again.
Yeah.
And like the other thing too about that event is, we got tickets that we're going to sell to see The Flash. We do have a private theater. We got the seats, but it's a social for sure. If you want to see another movie, the movie we're seeing is at noon. You get a movie around noon, come in and see us. You don't want to see a movie, you just want to hang out. Come hang out. Absolutely. It's at the City Foundry.
Some brunch.
Come by, say, get some
Have
some
a couple
grub.
of the beer tasting afterwards.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do. June 24th. Can't wait. And listener, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. The growth is growing. We've had a lot of local support, a lot of fan support, a lot of celebrity and like studio engagement online. Just I feel like we're talking and getting likes and comments from James Gunn. We're in the convo with folks on Instagram and we're active. Our short video game. If you're a TikTok fan or an Instagram Reels fan, like we're putting it out the clips now. If you enjoy the podcast and you're like, yeah, I like the long form podcast. I want to hear you guys talk about it. But I'm also into the 60-second bite-sized clips, or you want to send a friend something to show them what we're all about. The social media channels are what you want to do, and that's all linked up at mostlysuperheroes.com. Be like Danny Patron and become a patron. You can become a Mostly member for as little as $1 a month, getting that Patreon pre-show, the exclusive content, bonus content, free merch, free shout-outs, all that good stuff. And you're always supporting an independent, feel-good, do-good podcast. I cannot believe it's year 4. Who knows where we go from here? I say it almost every episode and every year. But we got those good vibes happening in here, and we got good people. Love you guys, and keep surrounding ourselves with strong team members to take Mostly Superheroes and all of our fans into a bright future. So we want you to have stuff to look forward to, just like we do. Come back and see us, visit us online, come see us in person, and listen next time, and watch us as well. Take it easy.